This pathetic planet from the face of the galaxy.
The Force fights with me!
Get on those gun turrets!
Bring her to me.
All Republic forces, pull back!
It is too late to retreat, Admiral. There is no escape for us.
You are strong, child, but I will break you.
I'll never fall to the dark side.
This is but a taste of the dark side.
Mockery. Oh, Master! I do not trust you! I cannot trust you or anyone ever again!
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
The first day of combat for the 501st was nothing like I thought it would be. We've been training for years, bred for the sole purpose of fighting and winning this war. But nothing can prepare you for the reality of combat. The destruction, the chaos. They say the 501st got the best of this war. We also got the worst. And it's only just begun.
On November 1st, prepare yourself for the sequel to the best-selling Star Wars game of all time. Star Wars Battlefront 2, the game that lets you fight all the classic battles any way you want. Now lets you fight on all new Episode 3 planets. Fight as a Jedi, and for the first time ever, fight in space. Even board a Star Destroyer and take the battle inside. Fight on the front lines of the saga's most epic battles. From any side. In any vehicle. With any weapon. Star Wars Battlefront 2 on November 1st. You fight again. Rated G for teen.
You hate to do it, but at the same time, it's hilarious. Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Sith. I am your host, the Fractured Filter, and with me, as always, my buddy, my compatriot, and all this fun, Darth Malgus himself, Jay Hitman. How are you tonight, sir? Hello.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was playing KOTOR. Stupid.
It does get you in the mood, doesn't it?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, well. Just want to be somewhat productive with my afternoon. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
I've arrived. Why is my thing not working? Malgus? What's wrong with my thing? Why is my respirator not? My respirator's not working. What's going on?
I was gonna say, we got you all set up. I'm so confused. I'm like, what the heck?
Working? Huh. What is going on?
Technical difficulties. What can you say?
Virtual cam's working. Why is my
Live on air. Here we go.
Live on air. Wow. I look like a.
I mean, I guess that's my own fault. I noticed. I was like, his thing's not moving. I should have probably mentioned it when we were.
He's dead. Malgus is dead. Disney's killed him.
No.
Maybe if I do. Oh, okay. Well, he's just not going to breathe tonight. I don't know what's wrong with him.
No breathing for Malgus tonight. Oh, well.
Hello. See? Yeah, no, I don't know.
I don't know what happened.
No, it's because probably OBS wants to update again, probably.
Oh, maybe that's what's causing it.
Oh, well. OBS. You piece of crap. I'm going to shut you down. No. Oh, I guess you failed me.
And that is why you failed.
That's weird. So excited. I was like, I'll just change. I'll go to the OBS one. But anyways.
Well, with that aside.
Well, that's embarrassing. All right, we're going to restart the show. We'll be back in 5 minutes. But here's the thing. I mean, you wouldn't want it any really other way to have difficulties other than live.
Exactly. That's the best way to do it. With the technical difficulties aside, how are you tonight, sir?
Piece of junk. Good.
Frustrated. I can see.
With OBS. Here I am. But OBS does me dirty. I go around and, people's like, there's a guy specifically at work that, I don't know if he wants to start a podcast or whatnot, but I'm like, oh yeah, like, try OBS. OBS is great. One of the, best top tier programs you can use out there for whatever, whatever OBS does, OBS things.
You
And
just
then
seem to
OBS
have
does-
all sorts of problems. What can
I don't know what's wrong with it. Yours is working, mine's not. This is dumb. I bet you if I go out and go back in, it'd probably work. But
Maybe you could give that a whirl.
Let's see. Well, let's try. And then if I leave and come back, you better add me because add me back.
Why wouldn't I add you?
Okay, 3, 2, 1, bye.
Okay, well, now that he is gone, I hope everyone so far is having a very good evening. I know I am. We, as it is, we did pass by proper Star Wars Day, which was May 25th. Unfortunately, I didn't do a stream or anything. I had meant to, but sadly, it just didn't happen. What can I say? I was enjoying my days off, and I just took it very easy. But we'll be addressing that a little bit more later on once Hitman is back on stream. Hopefully, technical difficulties aside. There was something else that I was. Oh yes, and I wanted to on air here. Wanted to say thank you to everybody who has been. There's the rumbling Malgus mask.
They
All right.
thought they can defeat a Sith. I am the Sith. No, it's I am the Senate. Not yet. It's treason then. Oh, why would they not have put the book in the movie?
The book scene in the movie, that would have been great.
We have no real time. Well, I'm not gonna say timeline. Timeline's malleable. It's a DC thing. We have no real schedule tonight. Every time I hear that, here's the thing. First of all, how are you, Fractured?
I'm
Hitman. How are you? Very good. Did you have a wonderful Star Wars Day? A proper Star Wars Day?
I did indeed. How about you?
Well, I was working, so I wasn't able to do my normal marathon.
Yeah,
but
I was just saying that I meant to do a gaming stream because it was my day off and everything, but I just didn't. I feel like I have failed a little bit, but oh well.
Well, the point is that we both celebrated Star Wars Day.
Absolutely.
Had to make it through the linguistic nonsense of "May the Fourth be with you" and "Revenge of the Fifth," and we've made it to Star Wars Day, proper Star Wars Day. Hope it's always my intention to have a marathon night. It's very hard though when you work today because you got, my goodness, you have 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3. So it's hard to get all of them in a full day. But the one that I particularly as a tradition at least watch for the most part is either Empire and Revenge of the Sith, because those are two. I had to say two of my favorites, Revenge of the Sith. Only if we would have gotten the original fight, that the choreography that they was gonna have Sheev do.
Oh, you've
and
seen
I wish
that,
I could
huh?
find these, and if I wish I could pull I need to create a file like you of just clips to play. But I saw the original, like the one that George was going to go with, that really showed the lights, like the brilliance of Palpatine and how he would could duel. And if Palpatine can't duel, what are you talking about? Like this man, if you read the Plagueis book, it describes not like it physically, but within the writing itself describes how this guy was was a force to be trifled. Was not a force to be trifled. It was very, very proficient, efficient with a lightsaber. Thus is why you always go around saying he carried the lightsaber to mock the Jedi. This boy had the lightsaber in his statue in his office, and oh my goodness, the scene where the music plays, and then the statue, or is it the statue or the painting? I can't remember, but it gets hot and hot and hot, and eventually falls out.
I have this. I was just looking and grabbing this
Oh,
really quick. Or at least I think I found one part of it. Let me just tackle the chat really quick. Hey there, Sparta Chris. Welcome. You did indeed blow up your mother's house? How could you? I did no such thing. How dare you accuse me of such a thing? Brandon Trent, as always, in the house. How's it going? Hello there. Hope you guys are doing good. We are, despite some technical difficulties at the start, we are doing good. Sparta Chris, again, there is only one Star Wars Day, May 25th. Absolutely correct. Doing a marathon. All right. Good man. Jason, how's it going, brother?
Really
Hail,
quick,
Fractured
really quick.
Filter, brother. Good to see you. Good to see you too.
I want to know really quick, Spartacus, what are you starting with? He says, I'm doing a marathon. You read it. What
OT, yeah, with? OT or prequel trilogy. Do you go forward to that? I start prequel, go to the OT personally. And then he says Sidious didn't care for lightsabers, but he was still a master swordsman. Only Luke has defeated him. Yes. Hello there, Crimson Raptor. Welcome. First time, as far as I'm aware. Hopefully, I'm correct. But thanks for jumping in. Hope everyone has smashed the like button. Please. Brandon Trent, don't normally bring up sad news, but did you hear Ray Stevenson, the actor who played Punisher and Volstagg in Thor, passed last weekend? My Twitter blew up with that. Yeah, I heard about that. Mr. Bug was showing some of the clips of, was it Punisher Warzone that he was in? And man, some of that looked gnarly as hell. I'm gonna have to watch that. Yeah, RIP to Ray Stevenson.
Who's Ray Stevenson? Did I miss this?
He was going to be in the Ahsoka show. He was the older Sith dark Jedi with the orange lightsaber, with the young apprentice.
He's gonna play Cybion.
Our suspicions, but yeah, that was the unfortunate news for him.
What happened? I missed this since I haven't
been on Twitter. I don't blame you. That he just, apparently the gentleman randomly passed away. It was I don't know if there was anything that was found out. I haven't looked into it personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad.
So Sparta Chris did say episodes 1, 2, Clone Wars. Yeah, both miniseries. And TCW, bro. Come on. But then 3 on through 6. Very nice.
Okay, hold on. Let's establish first. Is it? I always butcher the guy's name. Is it Tadarsky?
Yeah, Gennady Tartakovsky.
Tartakovsky's Clone Wars, or is this Filoni?
Well, he says both. He said both miniseries and the Clone Wars. So,
well, if you're on the miniseries first, and stay there. But if you're going to Filoni, I don't know. I thought I saw Filoni over the weekend, and I was going to pump kick him. I was going to throw a cat at him and then tackle him.
So yeah, this is part of it that I found. What the? No, stupid thing.
What are you doing?
What the hell?
What did you do?
I don't know. But apparently I did it. Hang on. Here we go.
They don't want you to share it.
Somebody added in the sound effects for it and everything.
Bruce, look at this.
This, I would dare say, was a bit of a mistake on George's part to not
this guy, he choreographed the whole time during this fight scene. He's like, and the whole time,
it could have been really good.
Windu's over here trying to hone in his vapod to try to beat this guy.
Look at that. That was great.
Better than the mall scene where it's just throwing the rock there, or the throwing the whatever to open that door.
Nice.
It still brings up the question that I always ask. Who beat who? Did Palpatine put him in a
Palpatine
position?
played him like a fiddle.
Bro, listen. I've heard people say Windu won. And the reason why Windu lost is because
I'm not convinced of that. I am still of the mind
Palpatine
played them.
They say the only reason why Sheev did not win is because Anakin came in. If Anakin did not come in,
he was playing the game. He knew what he was doing. That's Sheev.
Bro, but I wonder if Anakin didn't show up, if Mace would have ended it. But Sheev was so confident that Anakin was gonna come back in that he didn't have to worry about it. But if you think about it, that boy, I don't know, brings the question.
Anakin was a bit of a game changer because then
game changer. He was
that was the chance that Palpatine had to help play up and lure him over to the dark side. It was just that moment that he needed, but I fully believe that, Sidious was, he was sensing the presence. He knew he was on his way, and it was just called, okay, I just got to play this up. And that's all he needed. And once he knew Anakin was there, it was just called, now he could put on the perfect act to prove his point to Anakin that, yes, the Jedi have fallen. That he had to kill me. And I mean, he had Mace Windu all hopped up on that Vapad style. He kind of teetering on the dark side already. And it's very easy to make him look like the villain of this piece, because he's too dangerous. We can't keep him around. So yeah. I'm full in on that. So TCW freaking sucks. Absolutely. Crimson Raptor did say first time, not the last. Awesome. You guys, along with those at G&G, Geeks and Gamers, and Nerd inspired me to start my own YouTube channel. Y'all are awesome. Well, thank you. We are just a modest little group here, but that is awesome.
We're just peons in the big toilet.
We are just a couple of guys shouting at the world, shouting at the big wall that is Lucasfilm, Disney, Star Wars. Yes, he likes TCW. Sue me. You'll be getting draft papers in the mail within the next few days. Brandon says Ray was in Italy filming a movie, and then he passed from an unknown disease that's not confirmed. Oof. Damn, that's rough. Jason does do the 1 through 2 Clone Wars, Tartakovsky, good boy, and then the rest on his way. Spartacus says, I don't care what people say. Sidious won. He's been playing all sides for decades, manipulating a fight to make him look weak. When Anakin walked in, isn't out of the question. Absolutely, I agree.
I agree.
And Crimson Raptor said Sidious orchestrated a galactic civil war. He could certainly rig a lightsaber battle. Absolutely, he could.
No, I agree with Spartacus. I've just heard people.
No, yeah, that's been the great debate, right? Okay, so who really came out?
You think that Palpatine, the guy, and people are like, well, hold on, Jay Hitman, hold on. You're saying that Mace Windu, the Grand Master of the Jedi Order, like, here's the thing. You think that Sidious, the guy who was trained by Plagueis, who waited this whole time, conceived this master plan, played the waiting game, was going to get beat by a dude with a purple lightsaber,
right?
You think that you think that he was going to, like, this boy, like, I look at that whole argument like, and I get it, I see it, but again, I don't know, man. I think if Anakin didn't come in, I think that boy would have still got fried.
Well, and Spider-Chris follows up, and Windu didn't survive the fall. His brain was fried from Force lightning, and he fell thousands of stories. Thank you. I'm glad we're not alone on this. Because, God dang it.
Fractured.
Don't you start with that. Just because some random ass actor says, anybody can come back from the dead.
Maul, Riva, Inquisitor.
And hail to you, Wookie Be Bad. Welcome to the show,
Wookie
sir.
Be Bad. We got Wookie Be Bad on here so he can join in. Wookie Be Bad, get behind stage. Let's go. Come on, backstage. No, Maul got cut in half, bro. Riva got stabbed twice. One as an infant, might as well have. Man, and as an adult. What did he say?
Fried mace. He's a fried man. Plagueis novel also showed that Sidious was able to outsmart. Yes. Outsmart his own master.
Which is probably why
he played Plagueis like a damn fiddle when he got it all.
Probably why that's probably my favorite book, if not my favorite book. Next to Heir to the Empire. It's hard.
Well, and here's more of the fight too. That kind of starts it out. We get.
Yes, this is the scene I was referencing. One.
At least Kit Fisto lasted a little longer in this version. Just a little bit.
That's the thing, though.
And now it goes into, it looks like what we just watched, but we'll play.
The reason why this is so beautiful, and I would never really give the Jedi any type of credit because I myself, obviously, hi, Malgus. But those Jedi that went to arrest Sidious were like the creme de la creme, they're elite, in their respective right.
Yeah.
And then in the movie, George is like, okay, Ian, you're gonna basically do a Little Mermaid spin and take them all out, and then you're gonna fight Windu. At least in this thing, they lasted -2 seconds in the movie, and in the book they lasted for maybe a microsecond, maybe half a second, right? It just shows that it gives them a little bit more of not a fighting chance per se, but hey, I don't know. I guess at least she didn't telepathically blow their minds out of their brain.
let me try and keep this playing. Hang on. Just let it play all the way out again. There we go. Just one thing, man. We could have gotten this, George, if only you let it go. I understand he wanted to get Ian McDermott's face in more of the shots, but man, this could have been so awesome to have. Look at that. He even got a hit on him.
Yeah, but it's what's the old, what was the saying in Dark Knight? It's not the fight scene we needed, but the fight scene we deserved.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Brandon saying Riva and Grand Inquisitor surviving stab makes Qui-Gon dying to Maul look like an idiot. Oh yeah, we ripped that one apart quite a bit. That was and then Crimson Raptor, thanks to Disney, Order 66 wasn't all that successful, to be honest. Sparta was responding, and I kind of wanted to touch on this. Order 66 didn't catch all of them either in the EU. Difference was Vader was actively hunting down Jedi and didn't give up after Palpatine changed his mind about wiping out all the Jedi. That is true. And also, there was quite a few of the Jedi that, or not quite a few, but there was the Jedi that were survived had basically what they kind of pulled a Mitra Surik and walked away from the Force entirely. Basically went about to live normal lives, kind of like oh God, what's his name? Damn it! Crap, they messed him up in Clone Wars. Freaking Filoni messed him up. Dang it! He has dreadlocks and shit. I'm trying to remember his name. But I mean, my looking at for the whole Clone Wars and Order 66, the way that I do see it as being, it should have been a success. in that you had the Clone Wars that was going on for however many years. It had to have been at least like another 3 or so years.
Quillen Voss.
Quinlan Voss, thank you. Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, Voss, Quinlan Voss. Yeah, he like basically he had his wife, had a kid, and went about and had a normal life. That was his promise to her. But I mean, so anyways, back to my point. The whole Clone Wars was going on for as long as it did. In my mind, a lot of Jedi would have been, dying in any of these battles. So it would have dwindled their numbers significantly during that time of the war conflict, and also just furthering to, the dark side absorbing the light effectively and clouding their sight, their everything. And then that would be what makes also Order 66 a much bigger impact too, because that was their reserves, so to speak, at the Jedi Temple, and Anakin just went and wiped them out completely, making it then that, boom, you have next to no Jedi still alive, save for, yes, Kenobi and Yoda are your two mains. But that's just been my thoughts on it. That's what I wish it could have been maybe fleshed out in that respects, but it's all good.
Probably.
Yeah. I gotta say that I do wish for those battles, those were some of what we got. That would have been really awesome.
I don't know why you didn't do it. That fight seemed like, I don't know. You never want to. Well, I don't know. Sometimes I don't want to question George, but there's other times where it's like, well, like, why didn't you do this, dude? Because if they would have put that in the movie, oof, man, it would have. Can you imagine? Like, I would have pooped my pants, literally in theater if I saw that.
Would have been pretty
again,
intense.
like, yeah, you bring the point where he wanted to show more of Sheev's face, but was like, why? He's been in this thing for 6 movies. Well, technically 5. He wasn't in New Hope, and he didn't really show up until in Empire until after.
Yeah.
I always forget the first guy who played the Emperor in the old VHS.
Oh, the one with like the goofy face.
Yes. Yeah. I
always
remember
forget. I always forget.
But regardless, I mean, I want him to be like, bro, he's been in this thing since Empire. Like, people know his face. You had one opportunity to like make this fight. Like, this should have been on the same level, if not higher ground, than Anakin and Obi-Wan's fight. And it could have been. But then you decide.
And here's the funny thing, like Brandon pointed out, not only that, but we have more Order 66 survivors in canon, like Cal Kestis, Grogu, Ezra. Well, Ezra wasn't really there for Order 66. He was born after the fact or so. Kanan, yes, and Ahsoka. Because Ahsoka had to be brought into Rebels to make her much more important than the.
What canon are we talking about? Like Disney canon?
Disney's canon.
So okay.
The mouse is canon.
Yeah. We need to come up with a different term.
Bagface Emperor. What was it they kind of jokingly said? It was kind of like a monkey face sort of thing.
Yeah, there's only one canon.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. The person who was originally in Empire Strikes Back was a woman, but voiced by a man. Yes, I was trying to remember. I was trying to remember if that was the tidbit. I was trying to remember that. Thank you, Spartacus.
Yeah.
I call it Diz canon and the EU. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we do certainly got some topics to go over this week because, because we're kind of ramping up and, hey, you got stupid people talking about stupid shit. Never a dull moment in these parts. Although, okay, before we'd gone live, you had talked about your inability to hit the comic shop. What happened?
Oh, well, now I forgot what was preventing me.
Damn.
It was unforeseen.
Yeah, you
event.
said unforeseen.
Oh, it was just dealing with certain group of individuals for the last 5 days that have prevented me from wanting to get out in public.
Oh, and who are these certain group of individuals that you're referring to?
Some individuals who really like the mouse.
Oh.
And
would I know these individuals, or
you might know of a few, but specifically just it's a kids show, so I have to be careful with what I say, especially since Wookie B Bad's not with us.
I want to get him in just so you could say.
Yeah. Don't do it. Stop it. It's been a week, so I didn't want to socialize.
I see. I understand.
Especially with, I know a certain group of people would have been at this establishment, and
at this particular day, at this particular time.
I just didn't have the energy to combat the stupid. So
I understand.
I remained a hermit in my dwelling, and yeah.
I understand that 100%.
People who think Filoni's like creates actually good content, and that Kathleen Kennedy should have been the one that created Star Wars in the first place, and not George. And
are you serious?
Well, I may have exaggerated the Kathleen Kennedy one, but most definitely Filoni. Yeah, the same people who think Andor is just one of the greatest shows ever.
Who boy.
Yeah, Andor's great. Cinematically great. From a character development, it's great. Have you ever sat there and watched mold grow?
What kids show? Andor's poo. Yes, it is.
See, get him in. Bring that man.
Okay. I'll toss him away.
Bring this man on
if he wants.
No.
Yeah, pretty much. This fell asleep during Andor. I mean, speaking of Andor, yeah. Hang on, let me get the tweet. It was stupid as shit. Thanks to OG Star Wars who brought this to my attention. And I had to. I mean, it was a repost of a stupid meme, but here it is. So here's the meme. The Empire in other Star Wars media, and the Empire in Andor, the big scary werewolf looking creature. I'm like, and so my comment was, the Empire in Andor, so scary, they had inept fat Imperials who are to protect a quadrant's payroll and have it minimally staffed for a ragtag group of retards break in for the 80 million to make off with. Yes, such scary Empire. So scary. So scary. And welcome, Wookie. Hello, sir.
Are you talking shit about me over here?
Absolutely not. Who would do such a thing? This is a kid's show.
Animated Disney. Yeah, it does. It is pretty much a kid's show, but it does have some overlying themes that kids cannot concept. Kind of like The Impossibles. Which one were you talking about? Rebels or Clone Wars?
Talking about we were kind of mentioning Rebels, but Hitman always refers.
Rebels is more of a kid's show. Clone Wars has more underlying stuff, like with the Wills, Mortis, and all that good stuff. I think is more adult than kid centric, especially when you look at the grand scheme of things. Rebels, I'll give you, is kind of a kid show.
Right. Hitman kind of has started this little meme that anytime we kind of get close to swearing, I still swear on here, but the way he keeps himself from swearing, he says, I can't do this. It's a kid's show. So that's kind of been our little joke.
He just said every time I got close to swearing, he said, Wookie be bad.
No, he said if he wanted to start swearing, he'd bring you in. And so we brought
Have you ever watched Dave Fortney, the pizza review?
No, I have not.
The one bite pizza reviews. This dude cusses like a sailor and says the most asinine things on the show, but he always will follow up. But it's a kid show. I can't. It's a kid show. Got to keep it PG. But then he's just out there just dropping F-bombs left and right.
So I admit, like, if you cuss way too much, it kind of turns some people off. Now, if you go British or overseas or something like that, they don't care.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, my good friend Rivers on Twitter, that's been on our show, was mentioning that. He's like, "Yeah, the British own cuss words, and Americans hate it."
Fracture knows that there are kids that tune into this show, and you do cuss like a sailor.
I do cuss when I do feel like it, yes, especially when something particularly pisses me off, and I can't hold back.
One time he said a word that wasn't even in the dictionary. I had to look it up.
Did I?
Yeah, it was an Urban Dictionary, but it was not.
Was that a lot of dictopotamus?
Whatever he said.
I do include a lot of other, either fictitious or I do throw in some British slang that might throw Hitman off occasionally. So
sometimes it's good to make up your own words.
And then there's that. Absolutely.
So you're talking about the Jedi that survived Order 66 within, and again, the mouse lore. We'll just call it mouse lore, because I refuse to sit here and call it canon, because it's not canon. Let's be honest. Like, if you say, it's canon, like you don't know what you're talking about, honestly, because you can't have two canons. You can't have what Lucas created, and you can't have yours. It's linguistic nonsense. Concede that Lucas, and you get my blood pressure raised, Fracture. You did this on purpose. You brought this up because you knew that I was going to go down this.
Absolutely. I love it,
man.
I love when you get ranting.
And then you have what they did, like what the mouse has created. So stop calling it canon. You're just, please.
So I will say this about Rebels, with Kanan sacrificing himself and then Ezra turning around and basically doing the same thing. I thought that was a good story point. When they brought Ahsoka back, I was like, fuck yeah! And then like a week later, I'm like, that just fucking broke canon like a motherfucker.
Well, they already were.
You're going to make me watch Rebels if you keep saying stuff.
You need to watch, if you're going to talk shit about Star Wars, you got to watch Rebels.
I refuse to watch anything that has to do with space whales and Thrawn.
Like, yes, and it kind of turned me off. I was kind of excited. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of excited to see Thrawn.
They blew their load with Heir of the Empire content via Rebels. That was the hilarious thing.
Yeah, like I did not expect an Ahsoka show with fucking Heir to the Empire. I expected like an Ahsoka show existing during Luke's Jedi temple, not Luke's fucking killing my nephew.
Right. Well, and it is like I've heard Tim from Open Airlock say recently is that the whole thing with Rebels is that it's again making that little faction of Rebels Alliance or whatever seem more important than the main cast, than Luke, Han, and Leia.
Well, see, I always looked at it was like that was the universe is vast. This was Lothal. Lothal for the most part, another Tatooine, another Outer Rim planet.
But again, you kind of have again with the interaction with Ahsoka and Vader.
Hitman's her almost coming freaking out. I think he's like raging and getting ready to
run. He is. That's him. Yeah.
I get so livid when just anybody brings up just Rebels in general, because I'm sure
watched it.
Rebel has some good overall arching themes. It does have a lot of filler. The space whales were filler. There is you would get like 4 to 5 good episodes a season, like really good episodes, and a lot of it was filler and bullshit.
I wouldn't argue with you. I hear what you're
Filoni
saying.
is Brad Dourif in The Two Towers. He's Wormtongue.
Filoni's problem is he's bought fucking wholeheartedly in this ESG thing. It's gonna make him George Lucas.
Yeah,
Kathleen Kennedy is not his mentor. Kathleen Kennedy is promising to make him the next George Lucas.
I mean, he's it was the line from one of the Dirty Harry movies. He's a legend in his own mind, and that's essentially what he's setting himself up as.
Filoni could have been. Filoni could have been. He could have been. Everybody praised that he was staying on, doing the Mandalorian, doing all this stuff, and then he let us fucking down. And instead of saying, I fucked up, he just fucking doubled down.
We saw, unfortunately, though, the signs via the Clone Wars series when he did just retroactively retcon the Mandalorians and pissed off Karen Traviss. She pissed off because of that. So
well, and he retconned Ahsoka and having her run around with those two stupid ass fucking girls.
Oh, for the season 7 or whatever. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instead
of killing her off like he said he would.
Yeah, but season 6, with all the fucking unreleased shit, like Yoda and the Wills and all that stuff was actually pretty entertaining. Like I said, I don't look at comic books and cartoons as canon. I look at novels and films as canon. The TV is kind of canon.
A lot of people kind of look at it like that too, like the novels.
Yeah, because
novels and the cinematic or the movies are like the canon, but the novels especially. Animated stuff not so sometimes, but then that's also like where the video games come in. Is very skeptical just because of the fact of you are overcharged, overpowered power fantasy. That's the whole point, of course.
Yeah.
But
and fucking Starkiller was the man.
Well, yeah. Well, and that was like I saw people pointing out, and I'll have to go through it for the Force Unleashed books. He's much more toned down than what we got in the video games. It was much more plausible in the books than they were, and I'll have to check this out
video games are straight power fantasy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the comics, if you read comics normally, by the way, I just got my copy of Private American, 3 copies to be effect, as a matter of fact.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I just spent $150 on Cyberfrog.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, dude, I dropped 150, 200 bucks on this shit.
And that's not a lot of money. Fracture's like, oh, geez, that like if you're a comic book reader, unless you have like DC Infinite or Marvel Unlimited, like that's not really bad.
I probably have 4 or 5 long boxes that are like half ruined from a flood.
Dude, what could be bad? Coming on the show every time. I got my 4 long boxes here. Well, they're technically 4 boxes, but
I have like Phoenix Saga. I have 2 copies of the Phoenix Saga. I have 2 copies of Maximum Carnage. A lot of shit like that. Yeah. Huge 90s Marvel guy. Huge 90s Image guy. I think I have like 1st through 26 or 32 Spawn. Only one I'm missing.
I think you just got your disinvite.
Well, no. I was going to ask. Have you read Saga?
Saga of what?
It's by Brian Cavan. It's Image. It's called Saga. It's basically.
No. So I was into Image when they first came out.
Okay.
Like I have a bunch of Wildcats, all that shit.
Yeah. Old school Image.
Like when they first came out, that was like the new hot shit. If you were a Marvel fan, you went to Image.
Oh yeah.
You had Rob Liefeld, you had Silvestri, you had Todd McFarlane, all that shit. Like I
Jim
still have
Lee even went over there. I think.
Yeah. But Jay Lee didn't produce that much. I think shit happened and the books didn't come out. I'm waiting for Dale Keown to drop his 30th anniversary pit or something like that. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck, am I that old?
Well, McFarlane did a
it hits you real quick.
Yeah.
They did a Batman and Spawn crossover where like McFarlane, they did his 1 in 250 variant. Well, it's not a variant, but it's like 1 out of 250. Was basically just him just drawing, like just hand sketching this.
Well, McFarlane's famous thing is so there's like an art interview with him, Todd McFarlane, Rob Liefeld, and I think it's Jay Lee and maybe somebody else. He's like, yeah, I'm always like, you guys aren't done. I'm over here doodling in the corners. And I have like the green chrome Amazing Spider-Man #1 he did, where it's like fucking it looks like a dollar bill with the spider web work and the little spider coming down in the corners and all this shit.
Damn.
It just sucks that they're fucking woke as fuck.
About. Oh, and Image.
Well, Image is part of Marvel now. Marvel.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that.
But back in the heyday, they were like breaking the machine and making their own comics. They were EVS today.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I actually absolutely love EVS. He's just an asshole.
He knows
in the same right. So is Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers and Nerdrotic. They're all 3 of them are assholes.
EVS. The way I've found EVS is that he knows how to be a heel. He plays
EVS?
it up.
EVS probably has more
Ethan
money
Van
than all 3 of them, even though he doesn't have the following.
Ethan Van Sciver
probably has more money
Yeah.
Dude, I just watched EVS. They were doing comics auction. Fucking Dale Keon did a Wolverine. It sold for $1,000 one page.
One page.
One page. Yeah.
Holy
When's the
hell.
last? And I'm not knocking the Fellowship. I love I'm a Fellowship guy. I'm not Comicsgate. But when's the last time Comicsgate came out with something that made $1,000 off one piece of paper?
Are we talking about Eric July? This whole thing?
No,
he was talking about July.
Eric July is like the in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
will
have
send that motherfucker
Eric.
another $150 when he drops ISOM 2 or the Dixon verse or
I was
whatever.
gonna say, well, he got Chuck Dixon to do the
He's doing the Alpha Team.
yeah, thank you. I was trying to.
It's Alpha something. Dude, this is what I love. Independent. George Lucas was an independent creator.
Yes.
And if you don't support independent creators, they're going to go away, especially with AI coming and everything else.
It's getting crazy for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I got something to show you. Hold on.
Okay.
Where's the book at?
And while you're doing that,
To answer the question,
Star Wars
Rebels
toy
is
is just
terrible.
blue,
It's
by the way.
trash. I'd
There you
rather
go.
have paint on my house dry.
Here's a Star Wars toy that has the action figure on the box. Not. The
oh,
fucking-
nice.
This was only released in Japan.
Only released in Japan. Jeez.
Yeah, I paid
Nice.
$85 for this on Amazon.
I've always liked the Japanese. I've really always liked them. They always
I mean,
make
they
cool
got
stuff.
some cool shit, dude. I mean, like they got this one.
Oh
The
wow,
Hoth Luke.
dude, that looks good.
Fracture,
Dude,
what are
this
we doing
this is
over
pretty
here?
sick. It's fucking Yoda and Palpatine.
We
Bro,
just turned
send
into,
that to-
we just turned
send
into
that to my
hot
PO
toys
box.
now. We just turned into freaking hot toys because we got
Bro,
Wookiee over here showing off all of his merch.
Well, then
Darth
I need to
Vader,
start
like,
showing
fucking
off
hanging
my
out in
McFarlane
Bespin.
collection.
Ooh, nice. I like
So
that Vader and that Luke looked really good for freaking toys. Oh,
This is another one.
Nice.
So this was in a case about that big, like clear plastic. I smoked in my house, fucking ruined the case.
Oh no,
But yeah, so like
dude, that is dope. That is
that's
really
the Force
cool.
Unleashed series. You can find this pretty cheap on Amazon. Only thing I don't like is like he's back swinging instead of forward swinging. That's the only thing I can disagree with.
Looks good though.
Yeah.
I like it. Oh, what?
Do you have any McFarlane stuff?
No, I do not have a McFarlane, but I probably have something older in the car. That is an original Return of the Jedi Jabba the Hutt piggy bank.
Nice. See, this is what I should have been doing is full screening you.
And if that's not older than you, how about 1977 Stormtrooper, dated, it's stamped on it. X-Wing pilot,
Oh,
and yeah, Chewbacca.
nice.
These are like my original toys. I
Damn.
also have somewhere I have like see-through Palpatine. I gotta find it. Oh no, the see-through Anakin Ghost. But this you had to mail off for this.
Oh, really? Oh,
That's
wow.
Anakin Skywalker.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Nice.
And I do have the last Star Wars toy I ever bought was the Black Series Palpatine with the multiple heads and the throne.
Multiple heads, huh?
Yeah.
Thank you, Sentinel, Sebastian Stan. Yeah.
By the way, any gamers out there, Cade 6 is back, signed by Nathan Fillion.
Oh, I haven't touched. I heard they're bringing his character back in Destiny.
Yeah, Cade's back. Let's see.
I haven't touched it in a while.
Harrison Dula,
Oh, you simp.
Ahsoka
He's just-
Tano.
Look at you. What's that one? Oh. You got a Cara Dune there signed. Nice.
Yeah, and I got to hang out with Drunk for a couple minutes afterwards
Oh,
during
cool.
during MegaCon.
Very nice. Oh, that's right. They were doing that whole tour of conventions, huh?
Yeah. I paid $110 for that Cara Dune, by the way.
Why?
Because they don't make it anymore. They made
You
made
bought
the
it
4
after
inches.
the fact. You bought it.
Well, they
after
made the
fact.
4-inch because I wasn't buying anything from Disney at that point. I was just enjoying it. I'm not spending my money on it. The last thing I bought was the Black Series Palpatine when they announced its Celebration before Rise of Skywalker. Not Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi.
Brandon's saying you got a nice collection.
That's only part of it, dude. I've got like fucking Pictionary from the 90s with DVDs and shit. I've got a whole bunch of shit downstairs. I probably have 3 or 4 totes worth of Star Wars shit. But this isn't gonna be the Star Wars room. I'm gonna fucking do a conglomeration of nerd shit.
Nice.
Like, don't fall off. This shit falling off. I gotta put it up.
Oh,
Devastator.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I have like stuff set up behind me, but I just haven't wanted to turn on my camera.
Dude, I have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of shit. Like
I still have some stuff.
I put credit cards and nearly went through bankruptcy for my shit. Like,
Jesus.
That portrait on the wall with fucking
what is that?
Cobra Commander pulling the Duke action figure apart. And like you see like the horrific face in the reflection in his glass, like, and it's got the rubber band, like how the action figures are actually built.
Yeah.
That was like $250.
Jesus.
Yeah, I bought $1,000 off of him at XCon.
I'm only willing to go so far, personally.
Dude, I got no kids, man. I'm fucking almost 45 years old. Might as well have as much fun as
I'm not knocking you one bit, good sir. I'm just like
one of my prized possessions is my Court of Owl mask from Scott or Zach. I almost said Zack Snyder. How dare I? Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's run.
Wait, what? Say again?
I can't hear you, by the way.
Oh shit!
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I gotta bring all my helmets up here. I got a Dark Trooper. I got a cheap ass Stormtrooper I wore for Halloween one year. It's covered in voted masks. I got a Black Series Darth Vader.
Nice.
I got the Black Series before it was like the 5 pieces. I got just the 2-piece.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I got drunk, got hit in the head with a lightsaber, and fucking broke the strap. So it just sits on the fucking. Dude, I gotta go through Facebook and find a video of me and my best friend that passed away of us beating the shit out of us with lightsabers and put it in my intro.
Now there you go. Now there's.
I had 2 Force. Right, I got Luke's and Anakin's, which is the same hilts, different color blades. But yeah, we went in the backyard and beat the fuck out of each other. Who's here? All right. My lawn care.
All right. So part of, I don't know if you caught any of this, Wookiee, or you, Hitman, but I've been keeping my ear to the ground a little bit for some of this shit. Let me stop screen share for that. Let me bring up this new one. So PlayStation Showcase brought up the potential resurrection of.
I thought it was done.
Of the Old Republic remake. Apparently, with this list, announced PC console releases as of May 24th, 2023. And as you see right showing here, let me just try to zoom. That's not gonna let me zoom in on this shit.
Just Control Plus.
I know. I'm trying to do the mouse. Oh, pluses.
Yeah, it's doing the same thing it did to me the other day. It's not actually zooming. It's just fucking expanding the like.
No, it's zooming in on Twitter itself, not on the image.
Yeah,
but
PC and PS5.
Yeah, PC, PS5, which I had heard at one point that they were going to be potentially doing that. Oh, here we go.
I've shut that door. Dog's raising hell. There you go.
Much larger. And then, this is where it's showing it.
But I thought they said they killed that.
That was part of my confusion, but this person was feeling very convinced of this little list that they had shown.
Please kill it.
I hope so.
Please kill it.
That was part, and yeah.
This is my favorite Star Wars game.
Never done, just transferred studios.
Yeah, they got rid of Sam Maggs and all that shit.
Right. I was trying to remember if that was her. If not,
no, she was gone from production before they stopped.
But I am still hearing though that they are effectively,
but they're gonna fucking if they do it, they're gonna 1-to-1 it, make it like Final Fantasy VII, where you actually have to smash buttons, and it's not gonna be what it was.
Right.
Please stop. Leave Revan alone. Just let him exist.
Well, because I'm still hearing that full story rewrites would be taking place, along with gender swaps of certain characters.
We can gender swap Revan, because in the original game you can play as male or female.
Well, that would be the thing. Is would they? I mean, yes, we have
I just hope they add an obese button.
I want my body positivity.
And you've seen the dub shit, right?
Yeah, I've seen
who can't wait to play as a Down syndrome elf?
I was muted this whole time.
Yes, you were, sir. I seen your mic shaking. I figured you were just raging and getting ready to kill me from over there.
I was saying,
I'd have to agree. Remaster equal good, remake equal bad. 9 times out of 10.
Did OG get into an argument about this because somebody when all the pronoun stuff was coming out, and because somebody made the argument, well, you could play as Revan as a female, so Revan was actually female. And I'm like, you're an idiot. No, just because you could play, that was like the option. Anybody,
yeah,
like,
canon wise, he was a male.
Right.
Yes,
but in game, it allowed
you could be
to
anything you wanted to be. You could have been fucking purple.
Did they? But
with some mods,
did they make Bastila a man if you chose Revan as a female? Because there's a thing where you can go down that path.
I don't know. If I was digital, I would have had sex with Bastila.
I'm pretty sure everybody had sex with Bastila.
Yeah.
Everybody.
That was one of the first games where you could romance everybody.
That was kind of a lot of everybody.
Like
Mass Effect
was like Mass Effect tried to claim that shit, and like, no, it was
well,
KOTOR.
it was the same. It was the same. It was the same company, and BioWare. Yeah, it kind of got a lot of us introduced to that idea, thanks to KOTOR
and Fable. You catch STDs from your wife. So, I mean,
Fable.
I mean, like the world's an open book, but Revan is a fucking dude.
No, we have our canon. We have it established. He is Revan.
So, like one of the
just like
future videos I want to do.
Senate, Revan's a dude.
Yeah, but yeah, one of the future videos I want to do once I get better with editing and I have enough assets to do all that shit is I want to do a whole thing on who owns canon.
Lucas.
Right.
No, Lucas
Plus
and
who?
us.
Well,
The
we all own canon.
No,
the one that can definitively say is not the one who owns the rights; it's the person that created it. J.K. Rowling was not stupid enough to sell her franchise. I don't think she ever will.
No,
I still have the theory that Disney held a gun to his head. They knew something. He had skeletons.
So there's an interview with him on NPR. It's the White Slaver interview.
Yeah.
It's in that interview. And he's like, he wanted to go back, and he quoted a bunch of Russians and stuff that were doing crazy stuff with film. And that was the inspiration for him. Like he said, the next films he was going to make were just for himself to watch.
Right.
And he was going to use film as the media. In other words, he was going to use film to film a film while filming film. And you have to give him credit because
stuff there.
Well, but he's an independent filmmaker that is
Very
fucking obscure and weird. My favorite thing is when they call George Lucas is a racist. Well, he's married to a fucking black woman. Shut up.
Well, no, it was I was listening into I forget what live stream it was now, but Anna, that Star Wars girl, was on there, and she was talking about Bob Iger's book and how he basically detailed it out on how he did, kind of convince George that if he signed on or sold off,
they were going to make his movies.
Right, he was going to be afforded like a certain deal that was from somebody else. they had gotten this quote unquote deal, and they were promising it to George, and yeah, they were going to be making his movies or whatever. That's why we had the whole talk about the treatments that George gave them.
That they threw in the trash.
That they threw in the trash. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
George still makes money off Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, the Millennium Falcon, Chewbacca, R2D2, C3PO. That's why they have such minuscule roles.
Yep.
In the rest of the movies.
Yeah. And they've done
number one selling toy is the Millennium Falcon.
Right. Well, God, it's just astounding too. It's like that, they're gonna for selling toys, and yet here they are also erasing the names off of certain toys, like Boba Fett's. Now it's just Boba Fett's ship or Jango Fett's ship.
So George Lucas no longer receives royalties off of it.
Boba Fett's Starfighter, Fire Spray.
Fire spray. Right.
Oh, it's downstairs. So I did buy a vintage series Slave One before and luckily it was before they changed the name.
Before they changed it. Yeah.
It still says Slave One on the box. And it was only a couple months before they did that because it's a vintage series. I got a vintage series TIE Fighter here somewhere too.
Nice.
When they came out and they said they changed it to fire spray, I immediately had diarrhea on the toilet. Like,
so my tattoo guy. So I have like Vader with part of his mask split open, kind of like reminiscent of the Ahsoka shit, not the Kenobi shit. On one side of my thigh, on one side of my calf, and the other side is brown cloak, Palpatine, lightning coming out of his fingers.
Nice.
Yeah, complete Revenge of the Sith, Palpatine. And I wanted to put Tarkin on the back of my leg, to complete the Trinity. And I just haven't had any desire to do that. And while he's doing my Palpatine, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing a fire spray tomorrow." And I'm like, "The fuck's a fire spray?" And he's like, "Well, it's supposed to be the class of Boba Fett's ship." I'm like, "You mean Slave One?" I was like, every time they say fucking fire spray, you slap them in the fucking face, tell them it's fucking Slave One. And this was 2 years before this shit happened.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
This was 2 years before this shit happened. They were already putting out there that it's a fire spray class ship. It's a fire spray.
I'm trying to remember
one. They did it for Book of Boba. They changed it.
No, they've been pushing that shit for a while. That's like Slave Leia is not Slave Leia. It's Hutt Slayer. They pushed that in what fucking book was it? Aftermath.
Oh,
Hutt Slayer. But yeah, so I mean, they've been pushing that shit for a fucking long time. And are we locked up on? Oh no, I'm paused for some fucking page. Like what the fuck?
I was like, hashtag not my slave one when the slave one almost got just swallowed by the Sarlacc pit in Book of Boba. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Am I literally?
Hey, Jason, I just seen your fucking message today. Fucking, they're not sending me notifications on Twitter. I know he invited me the other day. Yeah. So,
but yeah, let me just kind of grab some of these. Saying KOTOR Remake, we don't need it, and we know they will change and swap stuff. Yeah, pretty much. They made Revan a part of Diz canon when they named one of the Exegol fleets after him. If that's from
he was made part of canon in the Last Jedi with the crystal.
Jedi?
Yes, with the crystal, the Revanite crystal hanging in Luke's shack.
Oh God, I didn't know about that.
Oh, you didn't know about that? You can probably look it up right now. I mean, you want me to look it up?
The only time I had watched Last Jedi was once, pretty much, with the Riff Tracks commentary making fun of it the whole time, because I was not gonna bother with that flick regularly. So, and I didn't look into any of the Easter eggs or tidbits and stuff like that for that movie, because I was just like, okay, I've seen it, I'm done.
It's Screen Rant, so take it for what it is. But
right,
yeah.
Speaking of Screen Rant,
so they made Revan canon.
Well, they had done that. They in Ander, they had God, what was it? The
fucking
crystal
Andor mentioned fucking what the fuck is
Luthen had or cotton crystal, if I remember right. That's what he named it. He said it was called. I'd have to look at my notes that I took, but
yeah. So it says actually Skywalker during the bulk episodes 8 runtime. We won't blah blah blah. The gem is a fragmented Sith lightsaber crystal, but it didn't belong to Luke's father. It's a recovered Jedi Crusader pendant,
Revan
which
the
refers
first.
only to one corner of Star Wars canon, which is Revan.
Huh. I see that.
The term Jedi Crusader might sound fairly generic, but the lack of actual crusades waged by the monks makes specific term in the bigger picture. Those who
that sounds like a
played
bit
to
of
the
a
original
reach.
Knights of Revan game know this story already originated about 5. It's also in the fucking book of pictures, which I think I had downstairs for the last year. I think I pre-ordered it because I was sucked in.
Yeah, but my thing is like, did Rian Johnson really
in
know
the book of pictures that
this?
explains shit in the movie? It shows the crystal and said it's from one of the Knights of Revan.
Oh, Knights of Ren or Revan?
Revan.
Okay, I'm because I know there's the Knights of Ren, and then for Revan.
And it's a red lightsaber crystal trapped in a pendant.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make, I don't know, to me, like.
Now I can say if they ever do a movie, I want Christian Bale as Malik.
Christian Bale as Malik. I mean, I'd almost think that'd be kind of a waste of him, but.
Well, Christian Bale is known for playing, like you can see this much of his face. So let's make him where you can see this much of his face and not this much of his face.
Wookiee has a point. Let's go.
Christian Bale would be excellent Malik. Pedro Pascal needs to get out of my fucking grandmother's fucking closet.
What is he doing in there? In there to
no, I'm just saying the clothes he wears. Like everybody's like, oh, he dresses like a middle-aged woman. I'm like, no, he dresses like my grandmother fucking did 20 years ago.
Yeah, he's
God rest her soul.
He's a interesting one for sure. But hey, at least speaking of Pedro Pascal, I guess people weren't aware of this, that because he said yes, he's just the voice in The Mandalorian.
Yep. That's because you suck, you fucking piece of shit.
He was
sorry, it's a kid's show. It's a kid's show.
See, now you're getting it.
Like Pedro Pascal is a subpar actor, and is only getting where he gets through Activision. John Wayne's grandson is the Mandalorian. He created
is that who
walk.
does the body?
Yes, he created the walk.
Movement?
He created all the actions, and Pedro Pascal had to mimic him.
Jeez. Well, I mean, the funny thing is, too, is like he was nowhere to be seen.
Yeah,
we didn't get any helmet reveal in season 3. He never took off the helmet again. It made it really easy for him to. Yeah,
Brendan Wayne plays Din Djarin.
Yeah, here we are.
Yeah.
There was an extended amount of
because Last of Us is paying him millions of dollars, and Disney's only paying him $50,000 locked into a contract for
So why
for like 4 seasons? So after this season's over with, he's gone.
I mean, at this point, they could pretty much anybody could emulate that voice. If they don't, you end up using
James
AI.
Earl Jones,
huh?
They said they got rid of James Earl Jones. They severed ties with James Earl Jones.
Well, and they got him to sign off his likeness for his voice to them. We covered that a while ago.
He probably signed that off to Lucas anyways. Remember Carrie Fisher's whole thing about I signed my likeness every time I look in the mirror I have to send George Lucas.
No, but we'd covered an article. It wasn't too long ago. It was like a little bit after the Kenobi show where James Earl Jones had signed out his voice likeness to Lucasfilm.
Yeah, they're AI in his ass.
Yeah, and they already were with the Kenobi show.
Yeah,
100%.
I thought it was him, and then I had to. It was either Daviaso that pointed it out, or something, but we
Like,
looked
I
through the
love
credits.
James Earl Jones, but that's the only way I'm ever going to get a fucking matching copy of the fucking poster I have of what's his name played Vader. Shit.
Oh,
David Prowse.
this-
Dave Prowse.
Yeah.
So I have a Dave Prowse signed Return of the Jedi poster, like this big.
Ooh,
Promotional shit.
nice.
The only way I will get a James Earl Jones one signed is if something happens to him and he does that thing with Hollywood stars or whatever, and you can pay for shit to be signed. That's the only way I'll ever get, like a matching set or his fucking autograph because he doesn't do cons.
Well, he's kind of pretty much retired, hadn't he?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's like fucking 80 years old. I mean, so I paid $300 for a Dave Prowse signed thing. So imagine what his fucking autograph's going to go for when he dies. Fucking $1,000, $1,500.
If that, if not more.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Sorry,
James Earl Jones is iconic.
Oh God, yeah. Just for the voice alone, I mean, Jesus, he made it. That's how we got Vader to be as intimidating and as having such a commanding presence was through his voice. Yeah, they did. So yeah, I was looking at my Andor show notes really quick that I had taken, and yeah, they mentioned the Rakatan was that crystal that he had.
Yeah.
Or that he gave to Andor to hold on to. So yeah, they've been trying to sneak in more
I think
Republic
the
stuff.
Last Jedi added that in, trying to get Star Wars fans to hold on.
Probably.
Playing some
Jason, Pedro sucks either way, can't act much, plays same shit most of the time, and we knew he does more of the voice for Mando and stunt double under it. You can see it in a lot of scenes also. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, fucking Pablo sucks. He's a fucking activist. That's the only reason why he's on film anyways. He's a fucking activist.
Yeah, and I remember him from my first experience with him was Game of Thrones. And
yeah,
I wasn't too impressed with his character, especially when he acted like a dumbass and got his head squished, which was kind of funny. But it was just I was not too impressed. So I've never understood the dude's hype, if he has much of any, especially anymore.
Well, now he's on The Last of Us, so he's even more popular.
Oh, hey, so I was blowing you guys up fucking, and nobody was watching this fucking Thursday, but I was still blowing you guys up.
Aw, thank you. I gotta watch the replay of the Thursday night stream.
You gotta watch it on Rumble unless you actually have a link. Because I think he may have left this one up.
Oh, really?
So, like, I can tell you some stuff on the back end I can't tell you here, but I can tell you this. I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning drinking. Streaming it at 11:30.
I figured you guys were staying up after the time you guys had me on there.
Sometimes on Sundays we do, and sometimes we have to get.
Hey, Static.
No, Static said no, it's unlisted, so you have to go find it on Rumble.
I'll watch it on Rumble. They've at least improved their app, so I can at least listen to it easily at work.
Yeah, I'm fucking dude. Their app sucks.
The Android one they've improved finally. They're finally improved.
Well, the Apple one fucking sucks because I can't look at shit on it.
Oh, I don't.
But
I don't use Apple.
So yeah, it's unlisted. We got really philosophical about Satanism and Christianity and all the bullshit going on. We actually did get pretty philosophical.
Jeez.
And I wasn't drunk till the end of it, so we're good.
Discord. Oh,
Jason said you approved.
Jason, yeah, I just got it. I'm pulling it up. Hang on. Thank you, Jason. Much appreciated, sir.
Hey, give me like 5 minutes. I'm gonna go grab some pizza. I'll be right back.
Yeah, by all means. You're good. Stop screen share. Let's. All right, there it is. Sith Trooper under Sith Trooper units, notable legions. The third Revan Legion. God damn it.
What is this though?
This is in one of the informational books for the movies for the sequel trilogies.
Canon or not canon?
Disney canon.
So mouse lore.
Mouse lore, yeah.
I'm just gonna call it mouse lore.
Mouse lore it is.
So just because it's in a book doesn't mean it's.
Well, this is their, this is like their little info book on the movie, on the movies, what they have put into it. It's kind of like some of the old books for the OT and stuff like that. It's like all the behind the scenes content, basically. So,
Just because it's mouse lore. Just because they read a book. Well, it's like excuse me, that book I asked you, oh god, it's probably years ago. That Tarkin book by James Luceno, who did Plagueis. I was asking you, like, oh, should I check this out? I was like, nope, mouse lore, stay away.
Oh yeah, you were in the middle.
But I was like fractured. I was like, James Luceno, he wrote it. He's the same guy who wrote Plagueis. Like, nope, he sold out. Don't do it. It's mouse lore.
Yeah, I remember when you sent it to me. I'm like, I have to find out just to be sure. And I looked it up. I was like, I had to break it to him.
Yeah, I was very upset. I was heartbroken.
From the Vision Dictionary, Jason said an ancient Sith Lord named Revan was reestablished in the current Star Wars canon, mouse canon, with a mention in Star Wars Rise of Palpatine, the Visual Dictionary. So that's what that was from. 2019 reference book written by Lucasfilm story group member Pablo Hidalgo. Isn't he the guy that made fun of Star Wars Theory crying? I always get names mixed up.
Pablo Hidalgo?
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it. Will not doubt it one bit. Well, I thought what else were we going to go over tonight?
Well, okay, yes, that was Pablo Hidalgo. He's part of the Pineapple Pizza Brigade.
No.
I've got nothing against you. I'm just not personal to it myself.
It's a sweet and savory.
I'm not big on it. I believe there's a fine line of separation, good sir. We just lost a viewer because of that. No. But there was also.
Give me a minute. I'll eat more known.
Freaking.
We should play Freddie Prinze Jr.'s interview just for Wookiee to get his thoughts on it.
Oh, fuck that dude. That's a better picture right there.
It looks like you're deep throating that thing.
No, that's Obama.
No, I wasn't. I still stay on it. Jason, welcome, sir.
Hey, man. What's up, bro?
Man?
What up? Was actually gonna be on a break today, but I saw you sent me the links. So I was like, oh, fuck it. Why not?
I thought, why not? Fair is fair and everything. You've been very generous inviting me on. I gotta repay that.
Yeah,
favor.
of course, man. Of course.
So yeah, we're just talking some Star Wars here a little bit.
No shit.
I'm looking over and I see you pulled up the Star Wars book and you're like the third Revan Legion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That is the picture he sent.
Yeah,
So
they made him canon.
Why?
Because they have to fuck everything you give a shit about.
Yep.
Of course, that's what they like to do. They like to destroy what you love.
So this is good or bad? Star Wars universe. Temuera Morrison returning for Ahsoka as Captain Rex.
To be honest, I could not care less because
I don't blame you.
I don't care about that show, and my view on Ahsoka
Jason
is
coming in clutch.
It's like my view on Ahsoka is that she should never been made in the first place, and I hate that character with a big passion.
I'm with you in that she has definitely been a major figure like a bit of a self-insert for Filoni.
In a way,
What,
and
he's a little
also-
girl
He's
and
the
likes
embodiment
dogs.
of Filoni.
Yes.
If they wanted, like in the start, if they want to have Ahsoka as a character, they could have just made her Plo Koon's apprentice instead. You know, his Padawan instead of Anakin, because it doesn't make sense for me that Anakin has his own Padawan. I just think that's stupid.
I guess his Sparta's Curse is right. He should be probably dead by now. For the
No
clone.
one
The
is
only
really
thing I liked
gone.
about Ahsoka in Clone Wars was that you got the idea of how Anakin would have treated his children. That's the only thing I liked about her.
I didn't consider that as a thing.
I can see your
I guess-
view,
I
even
guess
though
I
I
can
don't
see
like
that,
it, but I
yeah.
can see your view.
Right, that's the only thing I liked about it. And I liked
Yeah.
Ahsoka overall. I never watched the Clone Wars movie, the cartoon movie.
Oh,
that
the
sucks.
movie that
Oof.
introduced her.
Oh,
Yeah, but I
that
watched.
sucks, man.
I've seen every episode of the TV show. I liked her in Rebels. I did, like I said, I didn't like the fact that they brought her back. I thought that was like a J.J. Abrams style thing.
And
Well,
also, we need Ahsoka now, right? Because Dave Filoni is in love with her. He can't give her up.
This is
It's like-
his former jailbait waifu. Yeah.
Yes, it's also if you go to visit him, he probably has a lot of blow up dolls and everything with Ahsoka.
Well, it's the
Well, he-
one thing that gave him fame.
Well, and he had apparently such a religious experience making the Ahsoka show. So it all,
No, that's
it all-
Mandalorian.
No. Remember, we went over the article. He was having such a religious experience
No,
making the Ahsoka show.
Yeah, because he thinks he's God when it's George Lucas.
Yeah, he's like I said, he's a legend in his own mind.
He is. He really is.
So it's
Yeah.
not surprising that he kind of has that perception. Dang it, dogs.
Look, we always knew with the cowboy hat and the wolves and the big pot belly, something was wrong with him.
Oh, absolutely. The
Yeah.
Kmart cowboy himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was certainly just one of the topics that I had. I wasn't sure what some of the thoughts would be on this
Wasn't there an
idea.
episode where like Anakin and Padme were fighting, and then like Snips came in and tried to console Anakin or something like that?
Oh God, I think
I don't think it'd be
so.
misconstrued as what you're thinking.
Bro, I don't listen. I'm not saying it's a kid's show. Not going there.
She
But-
did.
Fractured knows what I'm saying. Fractured and I had many discussion over this topic.
It's not like she's deep throating him while Snips just goes.
No.
Can I
don't see
join?
the exact same thing as you.
No.
Hey,
Listen,
and then
this is
like-
It's
Scratches
it's
over here
on
like-
record. It's on
Wait.
record that Filoni said these two characters cannot be romantically involved. I'm telling you, they can't
That's
be
true.
romantically involved. They cannot. That means they're doing it behind the scenes.
well, and
Yeah,
as
of
we've
course.
already
Did
learned.
you see how Ahsoka
wait, no.
looked at Luke?
Hang on.
She's like, I wonder if it's the same size.
This is the thing that we've already learned from Anakin, though. He likes older women.
That's
Yeah.
not a fit. Fractured. He spent how many seasons of this show involved? Like, no.
No. No.
On record,
He was
On
horned
record.
in on Padme since he met her. I'm sorry, but no, he digs older chicks. So he
yeah,
was not going to be
completely.
rocking the cradle.
Yeah, but she was
Okay.
only what 3 or 4 years older than him. Older chicks to me is like me dating somebody that's 70.
No, but there were a
And
lot
I'm
of
sorry, I
people-
like 19 to 20.
No, but there are a lot of people out there who ships Ahsoka and Anakin, and you can find
Yeah.
a lot
It's
of
just
fanfiction
so
of-
wrong.
It
It
really
might
is.
be, but look, when you watch these seasons, are you going to sit there and honestly tell me that he's not looking at her in some way and she's not looking at him in some way? Like,
Wow.
whether you want to sit there and say they can't date, or
I know
whatnot,
he was
like,
a bad Jedi, but I don't think he was that bad.
bro. What do you mean he wasn't a good? He didn't. He followed the rules just as well as Palpatine did.
Well, at least follow the rules as well as Qui-Gon. You see that thing I sent you where they said Qui-Gon was actually a Sith?
Oh God.
Oh god.
More deconstruction of the characters. Yeah,
That's
I did
coming
see
next.
that. I did see that.
What did the whole thing say, Wookie, about it? Like Qui-Gon being Sith.
Basically, so we all know that Qui-Gon didn't follow all the rules of the Jedi Order.
No,
No,
like
he
I
was
was saying,
kind
he
of-
was a true Jedi. He was like
he
he
was-
Yeah, he was a true Jedi. He wasn't a hierarchy Jedi. He was a
No.
true Jedi.
He's kind of the
Force
He was kind of the
more.
prototype for what Luke would be doing with his Jedi Academy in the proper
EU,
timeline.
and
Yeah,
yes,
he was basically the prototype of that Jedi.
Yes. That's why he got along with Dooku, and that's why Dooku held Obi-Wan captive, because he knew that Qui-Gon raised him, and he knew that he could be able to see. I think in my mind's eye, Count Dooku was trying to show him everything and got mixed up and couldn't show him.
Right.
Because he pretty much told him as like another controlling force outside of what you see, you're just not seeing it.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting point that Wookiee brings up, because even in the book, because he thought Palpatine was gonna like there was a certain plan, and then
he was told
he's waiting for he didn't think he was sitting there thinking that Palpatine was going to come in and save him. He didn't think that he was going to make Anakin
he was
kill him.
he was under the impression that he was fully in control of the situation, that he would basically try and pull an early Palpatine with his fight with Anakin and be taken prisoner, because he assumed that they were good Jedi. Well, at least certainly Anakin was a better Jedi than he thought he was. And he thought he was going to be taken prisoner, and he's going to basically be able to see the rise of this empire. He thought wrong, obviously.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like the fall of Revan.
Headless.
The fall of Revan. Revan's seen that as a way to preserve the galaxy.
Revan did a lot of shit for...
Revan did a lot of shit, but the reason Revan went to the dark side is because he knew he couldn't beat the Sith Emperor.
That was through that book.
Vitiate or whatever. Vitiate.
I can't stand that book.
I kind of like the idea of that, though. I really do like the idea of that.
It takes away, though, from the idea of the Mandalorians truly wanting to test their mettle against this great big republic and starting that whole war, which was originally the thought was that Mandalore wanted this challenge. They wanted to take on the Republic, the big bad Republic. And now it's just because, the Sith Emperor manipulated Mandalore into doing it. It's kind of like, not as grandiose as like a Palpatine situation, but
that's kind of weird. But there's a lot you can take away from that, and especially when you're building new movies and doing that stuff, there's a lot you can take from that.
It could be potentially, could potentially be fleshed out
without canceling it, because anybody that fucking reads the EU understands it's not canon.
Right.
The whole idea of like saying that's not canon, we don't care about it, doing all this, that is a completely different thing than saying, this movie isn't canon. Like this massively produced Disney film is not canon. If they told you that, you'd be like, what? I mean, we'd also be cheering, but you would still be like, what? Like, they didn't need to go that far. There were things that, and I understand Filoni's like thing they want to cherry pick, but they didn't have to destroy fucking Legends to get there.
Absolutely not. They didn't have, they could have just, at most part, not God, I'm just trying to think of what they could have done, but I got nothing. Other than what they tried to do.
I wonder what, like, on their side of the thing, they're like, how do you justify canon? Because, like, we can see where, like, we know George's vision. Like, we know what George created. We knew the direction that George was going. We know it through the movies, through the books. Now, Fracture has mentioned, like, he didn't write the books, but he had a hand in every single thing that was ever created. Like, he had a hand in, and he approved it, right?
He had to approve and naysay, and
so. But these guys, these Disney shills and these seals and whatnot, it's like they're on this side of the fence. Say, well, I just envision them say, well, that's just subjective. Like, you don't know where George was going or whatnot. You think that George would create like this Cad Bane? What do you call him, Fracture? Cad Bane sausage fingers, like or the what is her name? The girl is more Boba than Boba in Book
Fennec Shand.
Fennec Shand, let's just sit here and literally deconstruct Boba Fett, because newsflash, like, I was going through the Bounty Hunter books and I know how he got out of the Sarlacc pit. Like, this Boba that they just for instance, like this, for example, like this Boba that they did in the show, like absolutely contradicts the character in the books and the movies. Like, but I just wonder, like on their like, do they really think that like what Filoni's done, Favreau, Kennedy is actually canon? Like, if you have something that goes against the grain, like I don't know. Like I sit here, I'm like, we're like how like. I'm about to lose. I'm about to have a stroke because, like,
I would say after the Last Jedi, anything Disney's created is not part of canon. It's fucking piss poor fan fiction.
Well, and
what about
I
like
like
even
to call it ship fiction or corporation fiction?
No.
Because a lot of fan fiction can.
Well, like Force. What was the Force Awakens? That's just a rip off of New Hope.
Yeah, it was.
That
ship's garbage.
All of the sequel trilogy, all the movies in the sequels are rip-off of something,
right?
With the original trilogy, and of course some comic stuff and book stuff. Dave Filoni has admitted it. You know, Dave did admit it that they do take from the expanded universe and put into their own.
And that's all Dave's going to do.
Yeah.
Dave can't create without someone holding his hand, and the person holding his hand is fucking Kathleen Kennedy, and she's.
But it doesn't make any sense.
He can't do anything original.
Kid show.
He'll sit there and he'll say that, but he's a trash panda. He's literally a panda. He will, or a raccoon. I'm sorry. He'll go there and he'll and I've gotten an argument, not arguments, but like Fraction. I talk all the time. Like Andor's literally Kyle Katarn. Literally, the only difference is Kyle wasn't a chef.
Yeah. No, the whole
Kyle was actually badass, and it was supposed to be the Andor and K2SO show. So I wonder if the guy that plays K2SO backed the fuck out.
Jason, what were you gonna say?
No, the whole premise with Rogue One and Andor and all that, they are based on Kyle Katarn and Jan Orris and all that. That's their basis. That's what they used.
Yeah. They use them as a template for a lot of things.
Hey, for fuck's sake, they race swapped John Orris to be a white woman and just changed the name to Jyn Erso.
Jyn Erso,
yeah. Even that character has a little bit of Kyle Katarn vibe.
Well, and Hera is basically a bit of a rip off of Jan Orris because also it's the same voice actress.
Hera from the Clone Wars.
Hera from Rebels.
Oh, right.
Rebels.
There's the Ryloth.
It's basically again another.
Yeah, it's what's his name's daughter.
Who was it? Oh, you got me. Wookiee. What is it? Who is? I can't think of it, but I know there's an episode where she was in the Clone Wars specifically.
Yeah, she was a kid at that point.
Yeah, it was Ryloth and
But at least Kyle was a cool character.
Now they came out with the Wars of the Sith, which involves a Star Destroyer with the Emperor and Darth Vader on it getting shot down over Ryloth, and pretty much it's Palpatine and Vader running for their fucking lives for the most part of it. That is a very interesting book, even though it is. I think it's right before The Last Jedi. I did enjoy that. I thought it was very good. And it explains a lot of Vader waiting to kill Palpatine. Like, do I do it now or do I keep defending him? Do I do all this stuff? There was a lot of that dynamic that was actually very good. They just didn't pay it off. And it has to do with what's his name attacking the Death Star before the events of
Andor.
New Hope.
Sparta, Chris, welcome, sir. Welcome.
Hey, brother.
Hello.
Hey, man.
I just noticed that I was just digging through some tweets so I could send you something on Discord, and I just noticed that you sent me a link. So, hi.
This makes it so much easier.
Yes, it does. It does.
Well, hey, I was supposed to be on Legion of Memers today, and I got an invite to get on the stream at 4:02 p.m. and it was supposed to start at 4.
So real quick, this is what I'm trying to show you. This is a writer from the story group. And this is what he had. Yeah. This is what he had to say. It's all fiction anyway, so you can choose to accept whatever you want as part of the story.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh yeah.
So basically, translation, canon doesn't matter, and
we've already seen that.
That's why we got things like they fly now, even though he's in the comics.
They flew and have to ship between now and then.
Yeah, like in the comics,
the
like
comics,
for fuck's sake, you have Finn, who was a stormtrooper, and then you have Poe, who's fought. Yes, and then you have Poe, also in the comics, fighting stormtroopers that can fly.
Yes.
I've told this story before. It was the most hilarious thing because I was talking with a coworker. Hitman knows who it is. But the whole reason that it was the talk about Legends being set to the EU being set to Legends was because to them they wanted their own playground. And they wanted to have a consistent, quote unquote, continuity.
Yeah.
And then what's most hilarious is that
they wanted to bring back Chewbacca, which is another reason why they brought the other excuse that they said that they want to decanonize the EU so they can bring back Chewbacca. Because
and here's the thing,
Chewbacca
they want to kill Chewbacca. They want to kill Chewbacca.
They didn't kill Chewbacca. They made Chewbacca.
No, they want to because George Lucas still makes money on him.
Well,
are they gonna do it? Who was the writer?
They killed off Han, though.
Who's the writer that dropped the plan on Chewie and Han? Was it
Harrison Ford has wanted to kill off Han since Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's true.
Fucking Han. And that's all right. He's getting his just fucking end on fucking his indie movie.
Bro, here's the thing though. He how successful. Well, I don't know if you can make the argument. I'm bitter over this. I think he was an amazing character within Star Wars, but he was all hell bent on like Fracture said, getting killed off and everything. And have you seen this latest? We watched the. I fell asleep. I didn't share this with you after the show, Fracture. I fell asleep during that trailer of Indiana Jones. Absolutely terrible.
But
hold on.
Further comments by this Matt Martin guy is: if you choose to only accept the real official canon, cool. If you like to mix and match between continuities, cool. If you like to make up your own stories, also cool.
Who is this guy?
Matt Martin. He's a writer for the story group, who's supposed to keep track of the canon and make sure that all runs.
So he has so basically, it sounds like he doesn't know where's up from down.
So in the example earlier, the person was asking about recanonizing past stories since this specific story hasn't been explored in the new canon, and I said if they like that story, there's no reason that they can't accept it as real in their version of Star Wars. But if there was an opportunity to tell that story now, that the new creator would not be holden to the old version of the story. Basically, do whatever you want with it, and then we'll if we make something up, your canon doesn't matter.
And he's also, if I don't remember wrong, he's also with projects he's done in Star Wars. Has been a lot with Star Wars Galaxy Edge stuff, Galactic Star Cruiser. We saw how that went.
Now it's it's now crashing.
Yep, and he's also been on. Of course, he's also a part of the Star Wars The High Republic, and he's done. We have seen how well those things have done.
And that's been the most hilarious thing with this is that my constant phrase is they are only consistent at being inconsistent, and that's what they wanted to make sure they could do, is be able to flip-flop their stories at a moment's notice to fit whatever mood they were in, especially for Filoni, for what he's trying to do, as they are now introducing quote-unquote heir to the Empire. But
it's not heir to the Empire, but
no, I
know
it's
twisted
in name. It's in name only, but they're using the name for sure to go, hey, guess what, guys? Heir to the Empire, huh?
It's just like what they did to the Dark Empire trilogy. It's just like what they did to the Dark Empire trilogy when they made Rise of Soy Milker.
Yep.
Rise of Soy Milker.
I didn't think you can make a worse version of Dark Empire, but they managed it.
In a really bad way.
Yeah.
So Wookiee got
Dark Empire was at least interesting.
Yeah, Dark Empire was. I mean,
not my favorite story, but it had a lot of potential.
And I mean, a lot of potential. It's not my favorite story either, but it's just one of George Lucas' favorites, though.
He loved that story a lot. And he even bought copies for all the employees at Lucasfilm.
Yep,
well,
he did.
I am allowed to disagree with them, so
both
of course,
both the Thrawn trilogy and and Dark Empire both contributed to giving birth to the EU.
Oh, absolutely.
No, yeah.
I don't begrudge that. I just have my issues with Dark Empire.
Yeah, same here. But it's still an enjoyable story, and it still feels like Star Wars.
Yeah, it at least does that.
Oh yeah.
So, Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny plot synopsis, huh?
Yeah, that was leaked on Reddit.
I mean,
I think it's from the same person that leaked the season ending for She-Hulk and was 100% correct.
I was gonna say, weren't we already pretty got a lot of our confirmation on this?
Yeah, like a lot with the trailers and teaser stuff we've gotten from Indiana Jones. A lot of the leaks seems to be true, so it really does.
What is he barking at now?
That's just a lot to go through, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I mean, I think I was listening to Geeks and Gamers, and they were going over the
were they?
The stuff a couple yesterday or a day or two ago. In which case, it came to realize that something that came to realize to me that I realized with it is the whole reason why George Lucas sold Lucasfilm to Disney to Bob Iger is because Bob Iger helped George Lucas get a second season of Young Indiana Jones onto ABC.
Oh. Yep.
This new movie basically makes that show
null and void. Yeah.
Null and void, because the old Indiana Jones that was telling the stories to his granddaughter now no longer has a granddaughter because, spoiler, Mutt died in Vietnam.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't like Crystal Skull, but man, at least it did have
that. Was Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah, yes. But at least it did have that happy ending.
Yes,
it had a happy ending. And it's still enjoyable.
Indiana Jones had a son that would eventually be leading to his granddaughter that he would tell his story, all the stories to, and he also found a woman that loved him.
Right.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to. I've been seeing people talk about the Young Indiana Jones show.
I miss Short Round.
Sentinel was bringing it up, and I'm like, I'm wondering if if I should actually watch it or not. Like, is it actually worth it? Is it good? Does anybody have an answer?
I've just seen a couple of episodes when I was younger because my dad. I thought it was enjoyable when I was younger, and I have been planning to go back and like rewatch the whole thing and get done with it.
I remember the commercials when I was younger, and I just kind of snubbed on it because I'm like, well, where's Indiana Jones? Where's Harrison Ford? Basically,
here's the one positive side is, it's at least better than Dial of Destiny.
That is just facts. That's just facts.
When your bar is so low at this point.
So I mean, Indiana Jones is basically like Star Wars now. It's Disney Indiana Jones. It's not Indiana Jones. It's Disney Indiana Jones. Just like it's not Star Wars, it's Disney Star Wars.
Disney Jones. But that's what it is. That's what they do with a lot of this stuff. So they love to ruin everything.
Not the EU, not Indiana Jones canon. No, it's Diz canon.
Yep.
I just did find it funny
canon,
that
what?
Close enough.
Kids,
yes.
I'm sorry.
There's a kids show.
Well, it was even funny that
you have not heard Jace go off on one of his F rants.
Oh yeah,
Star Wars music is called jizz.
Yeah,
it
is.
It is.
It is an actual form of music.
Yep.
Yeah. And I can go on the big F bombs, of course, but as I said in the comments earlier, I'm a Norwegian who loves black metal. What the fuck do you expect? What the fuck do you expect?
Language the kids show.
Well, and then I thought it was especially funny that Harrison Ford himself actually came out and was like, "Yeah, I kind of got done dirty." I'm like, "Oh, really? No shit, Sherlock." With Indiana Jones,
shit, man.
With
everything.
Well, like I said, he always wanted to kill off Han. He didn't like the character for whatever reason, but Indy was his
George
boy.
or Harrison.
Which he's completely running to the fucking ground because he's so fucking high he can't even land a plane straight.
I seriously think I seriously think that Harrison Ford knows he doesn't have much longer, and so he's just like, I don't really care anymore. He's just letting it all burn. He's letting everything that he was a part of burn.
Yeah, he's just kind of letting it whiz down his leg effectively. And I'm just like, but why, dude?
He probably
Why?
needs to have his diaper changed now and then.
Oof. I mean, no lie detected there. But Jesus.
I mean, he's almost as old as Biden, so.
I sent you a funny one on the private chat.
Oh boy.
He's 80. Harrison Ford is 80 years old.
80 inches.
Here we go. No, go past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Oh, that was so stupid. I remember when I saw that, man. Oh, God.
Oh, dude, the best part was the girls in the fucking theater going, "Where's Ben? Fuck you!" Kid show.
It's so many Kylo Ren / Ben Solo shippers out there. They just love him so much. There's so simps for him. It's like when I've seen videos on TikTok and other places with women actually crying because he died. And it's just like, come on, just stop it. It's okay that you like an actor or the character, whatever, but there is a line of how much you're gonna simp for someone or a character.
Oh, jeez.
Well, Crimson Raptor is shaming us. You guys don't want to spend $6,000 to stay in a generic space closet? Bigots.
No, I don't. I don't.
I'm a proud bigot. You know, I'm a proud bigot.
I am. I'll willingly wear that badge.
I'm such a proud bigot. I grew a tree.
Did you guys see the young?
The what?
Did you guys? I'm reading Brandon's post comment. The young
Jedi.
Jedi.
Did you see the Young Jedi Adventures poster? It has the same kind of vibes as Resistance, a show about younglings no one asked for.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember Rhino.
I've seen some clips from it. Yeah, with Rhino.
Rhino played the trailer.
Don't they have force whips?
Yeah.
Well, there was always lightsaber whips, but they were not
it
actually. They were never.
Bethany had one
in the EU. They were never actually really energy whips. It was a a metallic filament that was superheated.
Right.
Well, I know the whole thing is the purpose of cutting their hands off and doing that stuff is to disarm your opponent where they can't use the force.
Yeah.
Like it takes years of training without your hands to be able to use the force. That was the whole purpose of cutting their hands off.
Yep.
It's just the sentence. Yeah.
Yep.
and then you get to the point where Darth Vader can just stare at you through a TV screen and just choke you from across.
That was because he had elevated so far.
Yeah.
Though I mean, there's two stories of thought there. There's some people that think that Darth Vader became even more powerful when after all that, but then there are some who think that there are some people who believe that he became less powerful because he lost his limbs, and there are some people who believe that he became less powerful because he lost confidence in himself.
No, I think he gained more in hatred than he did in confidence.
Right. He embraced more of the dark side in him. And
there's actually an interesting video that was done by the YouTuber Geetsley. I strongly suggest you go watch it. It's about Anakin's character study of Anakin Skywalker and everything. And he talked about how after Anakin turned to the dark side, he kind of lost a drive. He lost a drive. That's why he never made actual attempts to rise up over the Emperor to overcome him. He never actually made any attempts to get a better suit that could help him defend himself against Sidious and stuff like that. He just
there is a bunch of stuff in the comics that goes about his suit and him modifying it himself.
Well,
I mean, there's some stories out there that says that he could, or not stories, but not actual stories, but some theories out there that he could actually make an actual suit that could be better than the one that he's been wearing, but that would require him to willingly submit to the Emperor's help, which he does not want to give the Emperor that much power over him.
Right. Well, and also even when you go into canon and stuff, Vader's just dead. It's done and over with.
There, like I said, he has no drive.
And that's why when he found out about Luke, there was a little bit of spark of hope. That's why he said, join me and together we will destroy the Emperor and we'll rule to get the galaxy as father and son. And then when we get to episode 6, when he actually brings Luke to before the Emperor, he's like, there's no hope. Give up, Luke. Join the dark side and join the Emperor and everything and all this stuff until Luke says, this is part of it, the character study and everything, because for years, Darth Vader believed that you can't oppose Palpatine. You can't stand up to him. You can't stop him. There's no hope. There's no... No, but he performed the ultimate Sith sacrifice. He sacrificed himself defeating his master. He performed the ultimate Sith sacrifice when he killed his wife, but he gave up his love for his wife, I should say. But he performed...
I don't think he ever gave up that love. That's part of his hatred.
No, he did definitely, because when he let her go, when he force choked her, let her go, that was his Sith sacrifice. Otherwise, he was never an official Sith. What he did, though, was out of an act of love for his son, he fulfilled the prophecy of the Chosen One and redeemed himself.
Right.
But
I don't think there's any argument anybody thinks Anakin was the Chosen One, not Luke Skywalker.
Yes. But, no, I mean, even Lucas said that Anakin is the Chosen One. You can't go against, unless you're Disney, you can't go against the creator. But in that final moment when Luke cuts off Vader's hand and leaves him at his mercy, Vader is just like, okay, I'm gonna die. I lose. But then he notices his son throwing away his lightsaber and standing up to the Emperor, defying the Emperor that Vader believed for years, for decades, was the ultimate authority. That gave him the hope and the power he needed to actually do what he needed to do to destroy the Emperor.
Yeah, which meant his own self-sacrifice. He had no reason to sacrifice himself.
Yes.
But you kind of, like, we go into the Clone Wars stuff, you kind of get that with what the fuck? Freddie Prinze, fucking cocksucker.
You mean Rebels?
Yeah, in Rebels. And you kind of get that with Ezra too at that one point when they leave the solar system with the space whales.
I mean, hey, you get
but a Jedi's true calling is to sacrifice itself for people.
Well, yeah, that's what Lucas said. That's what even Lucas said, is that the whole point of the Force, the light side as it is misquoted, because really there is actually no light side. It's always just been the Force and the dark side, and the dark side is basically just a cancer on the Force. So the whole point of the Force is about selflessness, about submitting yourself to the will of the Force and letting the Force flow through you. The whole tenet about the Jedi, about letting the Force flow through you and control your reactions, your attitude, and everything. Whereas the dark side is about being selfish, about taking the Force and making it submit to you.
Well, and that's why I agreed that Kylo Ren was like a preteen Sith.
Kylo Ren was the Wish version, was the Wish.com version of
well, no,
of
if you'd have made him 14 or 15 years old when he had his temper tantrums, it would have made sense.
Yeah, I agree. That would have made sense if he was
that would have made things a little more standing.
Yeah, I mean, Kylo Ren was too old. Rey was too old. They should have all been kids.
Possibly, yeah.
And they should have if they'd at least spanned 10 years, 10 to 15 years between the whole trilogy instead of a fucking week.
Yeah, since Disney and these corporations are so in love with trans and other stuff, maybe Ben was always a trans and was on the period all the fucking time. You never know. That's why I was mad all the time.
I think it was a waste of a good actor because he's definitely a good actor.
Oh yes,
he is a really good actor. I feel so bad for him.
Yeah.
I feel so bad.
And
for
he's
him.
got a huge, massive titties.
Well, he has been working out a lot.
We've all seen Ben Swallow.
Yeah, he worked out a lot.
Well,
that's
why Luke has been playing.
Makes the theory of him being trans even better.
That's why Luke is constantly milking those sea cows, because
we don't like wide titties. We like big titties. That dude's got wide titties.
It reminds
children, guys, there's children watching the show.
Kid show.
God damn! How the hell did we get to this point? Fucking hell!
Well, because Fracture, the sea cows are his favorite. Fracture has his two favorite subjects are the sea cows and the Jawas. The titty milk and then the Jawas.
You know that the Jawas are furry, right?
Those poor Jawas. I feel bad for them now.
I mean.
I hated them once, but now I just feel bad for them. They're getting molested by a creepy, weird.
So we want to talk about Jawas. What about when the Mandalorian uses an ion blaster and fucking
that was
disintegrates
great.
them? And then you go through Rebels where they use the ion blasters and fucking wiped out all of fucking fake Chewbacca's fucking family.
Oh yeah,
I don't remember that.
So there's like a whole thing where they're like, we can't let this get out, da 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 da. Then you see the fucking Mandalorian using the same fucking gun.
What?
Yeah.
Was that the same gun?
Well, pretty much it disintegrated them.
Oh yeah, this disintegrated.
Another iteration.
From my understanding, the guns that the rebels were trying to stop the Empire from getting a hold of were basically just kind of caused horrible side effects.
No. He said it caused disintegrations.
The LaSaw.
Yeah, the LaSaw. He said, it disintegrated them.
I'm gonna do a quick reading through and just make sure.
That was my understanding that was kind of the same gun that fucking the Mandalorian was using.
Because when you think of ionizer, it's ions, basically
ion cannons
with electricity. So I mean that's something like you use to take out shields or to mess up a nervous system,
or to shoot down Star Destroyers while you're trying to exit orbit.
Yes, but it does. But when I think of ions, I don't think of something that causes you to melt.
Because I know they said that the Mandalorian's rifle is illegal.
A disruptor rifle. That's the weapon.
Yeah, disruptor. Yeah,
that's the weapon that the Empire used against the LaSaw.
Right. So it's a disruptor rifle. It disintegrates enemies.
No, it doesn't disintegrate enemies. It's give me a second. I'm just reading through.
He's digging. I hear a shovel somewhere. Oh, that's Mr. Bug. That's Mr. Bug.
Mr. Bug's got the shovel ready.
And
if you don't follow Mr. Bug, you should.
Absolutely should.
Shit.
Definitely.
What the fuck is that short at? Jesus Christ. Mr. Bug did a short for me.
Oh, did he?
No,
I've been meaning to ask him to do something for me.
So he does all my shorts for me for a fee because I don't like making short. Because I just hate short form content. We're at 12,672.
I love making everything that I can with editing, shorts, videos, film, whatever. That's my work.
I just don't care for short form content. Like every now and then I click on a short, but only if it's like a hot chick, and I'm not hot. So,
oh, by the way, with the whole Mandalorian thing is we were going on and on about the whole Darksaber thing, and then what did they do with the Darksaber in the very end?
Just
crushed it. Just crushed it away. No more. Oh, and by the way, Bo-Katan still gets to be Mandalore, I guess. All right.
Yeah, she gets a sword back. Everything that happened, the fall of Mandalore didn't exist. She's the queef.
Okay. She walked both ways.
And it's a Darksaber, and it's racist to
it's destroyed now because fucking RoboCop crushed that shit.
Well, because they wanted to freaking undo that whole we need the Darksaber in order to have the leader thing and have that stupid she was defeated, so now he's now the
back to being Mandalorian again.
With the whole Mandalorian series, they misused the whole point with the Darksaber.
So
they didn't have a point to begin with because they kept changing it.
What was the point of the Darksaber?
The way that I viewed the Darksaber during the EU, before Disney decanonized the EU, was that it was a replacement for Mandalore's mask. That's the whole.
Right.
That was how I viewed it. It wasn't something that had special powers. It didn't have, to me, anyways. It didn't have anything with special powers. It was a symbol of authority and power for the Mandalorian people. It was
Mandalore mask. That makes a lot more sense too than what they did.
Now,
that makes sense because every Mandalore wore the mask. Oh,
well, and that's how I view it, is because it to me it's according to Diz canon, according to the canon of it prior to Diz canon be established and before the EU was retconned, according to Tar Vizsla, the guy from the Clone Wars, Tar Vizsla, he talked about how it was a Mandalorian. It was the first Mandalorian Jedi, and that the lightsaber was put in the archives in the Jedi Temple, and during the fall of the Republic, the Mandalorians recovered it. Now that tells me that, to me, it seems like, okay, at some point in time, the Mandalorian's mask was destroyed, and so during the new Sith Wars, that 1,000 years of darkness that plagued the dark galaxy, the Mandalorian snuck into the Jedi Temple, because this is at the point in time in history where the Republic was at its weakest. It was basically limited to the core worlds because of how much it collapsed during the new Sith Wars prior to the Ruzon Reformation.
Valid fucking points.
But the way that Disney and Dave Filoni took the Darksaber, it just made it so freaking stupid. It's like, now you have to bond with the Darksaber in order.
You have to bond with it, but only certain people have. Only certain people have to bond with it. It works exceedingly heavy for.
Not just that, but you also have to bond with it, and also you have to win it. Which, I mean, that was kind of the same mentality of Mandalorian's Mask as well.
At least that
was symbolic authority and not just actual authority. That's why,
right?
That's why the Vizslas, who were in charge of Death Watch, weren't the leaders of the Mandalorians. They had the whole Civil War thing, but I will say this is that I was listening to the Star Wars radio dramas, the original trilogy of the Star Wars radio drama.
Yeah,
and in the first one, there was a mention by Luke and Obi-Wan when Luke was training with the lightsaber that mentioned that the lightsaber actually was alive in a way.
I'm gonna have to re-listen to that then.
This is why they decided to say that the crystals had feelings fractured.
Yeah, that's why they bled.
And also in the original story of Return of the Jedi, when Darth Vader took Luke's lightsaber, it was supposed to turn red in his hands.
Oh, okay. So really quick, Wookie, you got to bounce.
Yeah. I got some distractions going on here at the house. Fucking dogs come through the door.
No, it's gonna make some OnlyFans videos. That's the thing.
What? I gotta trim my toenails first.
Yes.
You want to plug anything before you head out?
You can catch me Sunday on my pop culture show, Something Sunday at 3 p.m.
It's a good one.
And Thursdays you can catch me on Static 2020's channel where we clown on Clown World. And evidently I am a regular on the Roadhouse MFer, which is part of the old MFer, but I guess Matt's taking a break.
Roadhouse MFer, huh?
Yeah, it was part of the MFer podcast, but now they're doing. They're trying to keep it going with Matt taking off. So me and Jed and Static and all them, we're trying to get together and make things work. And so Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, you can catch me live on YouTube between the hours of 8:30, 8 o'clock, and 3 p.m. Eastern
awesome.
Time.
And I'll be dropping your links in the chat.
Thank you.
And thank you for jumping in, sir. It's a pleasure as always.
No problem. It's always fun to talk Star Wars. I do appreciate it, even though Hitman was talking shit about me.
Never. It's a kid's show.
That's all right. I love you guys, man.
Love that.
Love you back, dude.
Filter
You're
was
a
on
piece
our
of
show.
shit, but I love you,
Filter was on
man.
Static show a couple weeks ago, and then I took my shirt off, and he fucking left.
Hey, he was getting a little too Devin Mulvaney up in there. Okay,
Oh no,
I was out.
It got psychotic. I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning drinking.
Pineapple on pizza is
I
good.
cannot disclose what happened because somebody will probably lose their job that works for Warner Brothers. I don't have audio of them, but I do have video. And my mic, I forgot to cut my mixer on. And yeah, it was pretty interesting with the new Flash movie and some other stuff, but I'm not at regulation to say anything. You guys catch up with me on the backside, I might say something.
All right.
But all right, guys, I gotta head out. I gotta take care of this dog. He's being
absolutely,
an asshole.
sir. Thanks again, man. Have a good one.
Takes after his father.
Right. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he really does. All right, guys. Later.
See you later,
Peace.
Wiki.
By the way, so I was kind of looking. I did kind of find information about the two guns that we were talking about earlier. They are both disruptor rifles. So.
Oh, okay.
So one is the one that the rebels were trying to prevent was the T7 ion disruptor rifle, and the one that Din Djarin was carrying was a Amban phase pulse blaster, which is a type of disruptor rifle, a sniper one, I should say.
I just had to laugh how quickly they got rid of it too.
Yeah, it's like
I mean, it wasn't OP as hell gun, but I was just like, it was the
now we know what it means to for no disintegration.
Right.
Yep.
But yeah, it definitely is. It definitely was OP.
A little bit. I mean, I enjoyed the shit out of it when he was blasting Jawas with the thing.
Yeah.
But when you start throwing them into real combat, unless it was like, oh, it doesn't work on certain life forms or something, then it's called, yeah, we can just waste anything with that freaking rifle.
I will say this though is this is something that was brought up when Mandalorian first came out, when they showed Mandalorian using carbon freezing to transport his prisoners. Right. I saw a lot of anti-Diz canon people freaking out about it, saying, "Oh, we didn't have that in Star Wars. That was never a part of Star Wars." And it's like, well, actually, yes, it was.
Because once you start diving into the EU.
Well, I mean, it was people that were self-proclaimed EU fans. Because if you look deep enough into the EU, there was, prior to the advance of hyperspace travel in the core, they used sleeper ships to get their people across the galaxy,
right?
To colonize neighboring worlds, and that would involve carbonite.
Well, and that was how they brought in Arden Lin, who was a Terras Kasi user, and that was how she got brought into the current year as an assassin. Was that she was carbon frozen?
Yeah,
and also use the meditations of the Terras Kasi to preserve her life.
And also there was that one Jedi who had the talisman of More. She was also frozen in carbonite too for several thousand years before she was awoken by Darth Vader. I think it was Darth Vader. I think it was Darth Vader, or it was Luke. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, so there was her too. And then also, if anyone played Empire War Forces of Corruption, there was an entire army of Sith that the Night Witch found. So the Night Sister Dathomir found. Yeah, an entire army.
Huh. I'm gonna have to replay that game again.
I'll see if I can pull up the cutscene.
Yes, please do.
And also, there was Boba Fett's ex-wife.
Right. Yes.
Who was frozen for a couple decades.
It doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah. But yeah, and people will try and point to the Empire Strikes Back, but if you actually pay very close attention to what Lando and Vader were saying, they were talking about how crude the setup was, but it was good enough for Vader's uses.
For what they were doing, yeah.
He never said anything about how it was being done first. It was just, this is just a crude setup.
Yeah. And they already weren't sure on how quick, because they were trying to set up pretty quick, as I recall, too.
Yes.
It was kind of like a spur of the moment. Hey, we're doing this, so.
Okay.
Oh, I see more and more people are trending with the whole gray Jedi thing.
Oh, for God's sakes. It doesn't exist, people.
It's like even Screen Rant made an article about it right now. Said Star Wars canon. this canon, the Disney canon, made Grey Jedi possible in 2015.
Okay, I have other words to say about the whole Gray Jedi thing, but I found this. So this is the cutscene. This is the ending cutscene. So this is the Night Witch who, using a holocron, holocron that she grabbed from the Crime Lord Tiger Zan.
Yeah.
Which they recovered from Palpatine's vault on Coruscant. She found this. By the way, we do not own this. We're just showing it for purely entertainment value.
Exactly. The original Dathomirian witches.
Yep.
And a whole army of Sith frozen in carbonite.
Yep.
Oh God. Wait, are those
that collection?
Are they
this from?
This is from Empire at War.
The Empire at War Forces of Corruption.
Okay.
Now, as in, so for the Sith army, as in the just the soldiers, or are we talking Force users?
That we don't know because they never finished it.
Oh, they never finished it. Of course.
The Forces of Corruption was the last one for any.
Yeah. That's right.
Empire at War, which really sucks because Empire at War was a fun game.
Empire at War, the space end was really awesome. The ground end, as I remember, kind of sucked.
Tedious. It was tedious.
Yeah, it was not well set up. Force Commander did a better job for the ground. I remember wishing they'd used that instead of, but I mean, I just ended up doing nothing but space battles in Empire at War.
I mean, like once you get to a certain point, it's just basically almost all space battles, and the ground combat is a quick mop up.
Is minimal, yeah.
But I love those games. I wish that they could have continued them before
the Disney takeover.
Yeah,
it would have been fun, man. It would have been fun, and
But I mean,
those games were amazing that back in the day.
Yeah, but to me, it would come off that those are probably at least Sith warriors who weren't really Sith lords. They were just warriors who knew how to use the dark side to complete their missions.
Yeah. Think about that.
Can we think about the environment, please?
Hell no.
How dare you?
Hey, we don't have to think about the environment of that planet. That planet, whatever, man.
Well,
we got plenty of them out there.
I mean, to be honest, that planet was already dead anyways.
For the most, yeah, basically.
Yeah.
That was Dathomir. It wasn't doing so well anyways.
Oh my God. The way that I'd kind of disassociate that in TCW from the EU is that the Dathomir that we see in TCW is maybe either a moon or sister planet to Dathomir, the green one that we know. That's how I viewed it. That's how I
guess I could see that. I could see that.
Like I said in the comments, is like there's a certain way that I view TCW in relations to the EU, and that was how it was before Disney acquired the Star Wars, and that is, it is canon, but it has to line up with the rest of the tier system of the Star Wars canon, with the movies being
S canon.
Yeah. So and that's how it was done before. Disney got a hold of it all, and it worked perfectly fine. So,
well, and even as like Wookiee was kind of making the point earlier, at this point, it really is just, for each individual person, we basically can make up whatever canon we want, because that's how they're already and that's how they're already treating it too. So for even ourselves, all right, I'll make up whatever damn well canon I want it to be.
And I mean, that's why when I do marathons and I do Clone Wars with the marathons, I use chapters 1 to 21 for the beginning after episode 2. Then I watch Clone Wars in chronological order, and then near the end where we have like the Lost Missions and the season 7, I kind of jump back and forth between the remaining chapters of Tartakovsky's Clone Wars and TCW.
That's one way of doing it.
Yeah.
It's like I say, as long as it works for you, man, that's the most important part.
My way is the way. If no one else does it, there will be a crusade against all.
Hey, whoa.
I will never watch the Clone Wars ever again.
Oh, don't say that. I'll get you to do it.
Oh man, that's one of the shows I hate. I think it was how would I say this? A mistake from the beginning.
I mean, between you, Chris, and freaking Wookiee, I'm feeling like I'm gonna have to actually brush back up on Rebels. I have forgotten so much. I have forgotten so much of that.
Fuck Rebels! Show. It's trash.
I know it's trash. That's why I forgot it.
Yeah, it's bringing all this stuff up.
Honestly, Rebels isn't horrible.
Oh yes,
it definitely could be better, and the art style is questionable, though it kind of felt like it improved a little bit near the end.
Maybe a fan edit can fix and make it better.
I mean, as much as people laugh at the space whales, but I mean, did we all forget about some of the kooky stuff that was in the EU? I mean, there was also kind of space jellyfish and space dragons, and
yeah, but did they defeat the big villain of the series?
Go read Lando Calrissian Adventures.
Oh no.
Ugh.
Yes. Because there was
Do I want to know?
there was something of that nature in that show where the Empire had trapped a group of space whale-like creatures in a nebula, and Lando led them out and kind of destroyed helped to free those spacefaring creatures out of the nebula.
Yeah, but that's not sounding like a space whale attacking a ship, wrapping Thrawn up, all for them to jump into hyperspace randomly.
I will give you that.
Yeah, I agree with Filter there.
I mean, I get what you're saying. Yes, Lando led some spacefaring creatures away from the Empire and managed to get one up on them. Okay, I got you. But we still have the Thrawn situation and how that was resolved, which was very poorly.
Here.
I mean, F to pay respects for Thrawn. He had a good run, and unfortunately, Disney got their hands on him. He too desperately wanted out of the unemployment line, and well, now there you go.
And Tim Passan also sold himself out. So,
wait, say that again. Who? What?
Tim Passan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he sold himself out.
Well, and I was getting to that point that on the spacing they were talking about Zahn and how in 2011 there's an interview with him where he was kind of shitting on things a little bit, and then he ended up walking it back. What do we got here? Battle of Thon Boca.
Yeah. So this is the event that I was talking about with Lando Calrissian.
Okay.
So
gigantic spacefaring, awesome. They look like manta rays, stingrays. Yeah.
So it was a victory for the Oswaft, which are that's what these are.
Okay.
Just in the back.
Let's see here. A sack-shaped nebula that was home to the gigantic spacefaring Oswaft species, the Centurions.
But at least this is a better story than the Thrawn thing.
Had known of the species for generations, but the aliens had not come to the Palpatine's attention until just prior to Lando Calrissian's arrival in Dela 3, the financial hub of the Centrality.
Okay.
Let's see here. The battle itself. I'm just going to skip down to the end. At that, the battle renewed. Yada yada yada. The Imperial Centron fleet faced the thousands of gigantic ships. Oh, that's right. That's how it ended with the arrival of the one, the Silentium.
Yep.
Which were these guys.
See, I know I have a lot to learn, but
so the Silentium was a robotic species from beyond the galaxy. In fact, actually, they're from the home galaxy. They're from the home galaxy of the Yuuzhan Vong. So the whole reason why the Yuuzhan Vong became anti-machinery is because a war between the Silentium
and also the I'm trying to see if I can find. I have to go do this.
I hate that you're using Wikipedia, but it's
I
like
have
only.
unfortunately no choice. So there was a war between the Silentium and the Abominor. Yeah, which actually makes an appearance in Star Wars Droids.
That looks a little better, almost looking like a Transformer, but that first image just kind of looks goofy.
So there was a war between these two species, and so Yuzan Tar, the Yuzan Vong homeworld, gave you the Yuzan Vong the ability to shape organic matter, and that allowed the Yuzan Vong to defeat the Silentium and the Abominor and chase them out of the galaxy, where eventually they found their way to the Star Wars galaxy. And then the Yuzan Vong destroyed their home galaxy and Yuzan Tar in the process. Which
no chill from them. They're like, all right, we're doing this full blown.
which ended up causing the Yuzan Vong their connection to the Force.
Oh, the Force did not take too kindly to their actions. Then
that's why the Yuzan Vong were forced to settle on Zanama Sikat, because Zanama Sikat was a seed of Yuzan Tar, and the hope was that if the Yuzan Vong dwelled on Zanama Sikat, they could regain their connection to the Force and become like they were prior to becoming militarized.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's still, like I said, there's still some of the stuff I need to get through is the Yuzan Vong material in particular, because I've read some.
Where's a good place
listened...
to start with that stuff? Because I'm
just
of the same.
Start from the beginning. Start at the very beginning. Dawn of the Jedi.
I was gonna say, okay.
That's all that you can do, because
I think he meant for the Yuzan. I think he meant for the Yuzan Vong.
Yuzan Vong.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, both. Yeah.
Well, I mean, for the EU in general, just start from the beginning, because they're not adding anything to it.
No,
right.
it's going nowhere.
Well, what was the books? The Vector Prime books are like 21 books in that run. Was that Vector Prime?
I think that's what started the new Jedi Order started, I believe, with Survivor Quest, which that actually was my first EU novel.
Nice.
Let me see here. Oh no, never mind. It did. The new Jedi Order did start with Vector Prime.
Okay.
And it ended with the Dark Nest trilogy.
What still gets me about that whole saga is it makes me really curious what would have gone on with some of their original plans. Like, I know what it would have been like if they had carried out some of their original plans, like keeping Anakin around, having him kind of, I think, was supposed to be kind of taking over the Jedi Order, with Luke's passing during that whole event. That would be probably some of my changes, would be to kind of change that, but keep Luke alive, but see what would happen if bringing in Anakin as kind of this new kind of Jedi.
You mean those the infinite timeline stuff?
Not necessarily. I don't know if it was that, but I think it was like their original plans for some of the whole big event with the Yuzan Vong and Anakin and stuff like that was to kill Luke off.
Okay, yeah.
And Anakin Solo. Sorry, Anakin Solo. That was my fault. I should have been more specific. Anakin Solo.
I knew what you were talking about.
Sorry,
it is more clear to everyone, dude.
So for those that you don't know, one of the three children of Han and Leia, they had three children, not one.
Not one.
Was named Anakin Solo in honor of his grandfather.
Yep.
That was Leia's ultimate sign of, I forgive my father for what he did to me and the rest of the galaxy.
Yep.
Tatooine Ghost was really good for that. I really enjoyed that.
It does a hell of a lot better job of Leia coming to terms with her father than Bloodline did.
Oh God, I haven't even looked at that.
I mean, basically, what happens is that Leia becomes so the Bloodline goes around mostly the politics of the New Republic. After Mon Mothma leaves the New Republic as leader, basically the New Republic becomes inert because
the Chancellor of the New Republic has no power whatsoever. All of his power, all the power resides in the Senate, and no one in the Senate can agree on anything. It's divided between the centrists and the partisans.
So we're kind of back to the way the Republic already was.
It's worse than that, though. Like I said, the Chancellor has no power compared to
even Valorum and before Palpatine.
Yes. So I mean, the Chancellor's position is purely a ceremonial position. And so the centrists want to consolidate all power in a central authority into the central authority of the Senate, and a new position that one of the centrists proposed, which was a first senator, basically be creating a chancellor and president kind of thing, where the first senator would be the one who kind of set the tone for the whole republic, or for the whole new republic. And so Leia became a runner for that until it came out that her father was Darth Vader, because one of the centrist senators got a hold of Leia's music box, which survived the destruction of Alderaan. Yeah.
How? What?
I have no clue. Apparently, it's an Alderaanian tradition where when you turn 16, you put trinkets in the box and then you open it years later.
Right. But how would it survive from being nuked into part? Well, okay.
Apparently, wasn't nuked. The planet was
into atoms basically. So it's
apparently someone was just drifting through the asteroid field that was Alderaan.
Force is female. That's how it survived.
So, anyways, the centrists released this information to the public, which inside of the music box was a recording by Bail Organa telling Leia, "Your father is Darth Vader." And so basically, Leia came under threat. She lost all political
power.
Well, political attention, or not attention, but like trust.
Okay.
And she basically had to go into hiding because of it. So the reason why Leia is the leader of the Resistance, and the reason why she's not running around the New Republic, is because she's in hiding because people want to kill her because her father was Darth Vader. But throughout the events of this book, she makes friends with a centrist senator someone from the opposite political party, who is a little bit of an imperial fanatic worshiper, but he doesn't worship what the Empire did. He respected what the Empire
tried to do,
represented in the romantic sense, that it tried to create order, it tried to create stability and peace. He respected that side. He did not respect what the evil that the Empire performed. But they became close friends. But when the big bad guys of the book were found out, which was basically a bunch of mercenaries, kind of the proto First Order, was found out. He was framed for it, and basically he was sent off to be executed on his homeworld, because his homeworld had still allowed execution. So when Leia watched it happen, she's thinking to herself, well, I can go and save him. I have the power to stop this. I can call upon my friends and we can all intercept his ship. But then she realized this is kind of the way that that Anakin felt when he was trying to save Padme and everything. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to let it go. Well, that kind of went out the window, because it was found out years later that the guy was not executed, but he was taken into First Order custody. And he's been in First Order custody until he was freed by the Resistance.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like my brain is melted just a little bit. Just a little bit.
It's... It was a little bit of a boring novel anyways. I mean, I liked the political nature in it, because there is a bit of fun with Star Wars politics when it's in-universe politics, not the freaking...
not the real world
politics.
Stuff.
Right. Which is what they all just...
Which I mean, like I said, there was two political they were actually literal political parties of the New Republic in the New Republic Senate in Discanon, which is the centrists. Like I said, they want to consolidate power. They want to unify the military underneath a central authority. And the it's gonna bug me until I look it up. So give me a second here. No, that's not it.
Well, really quick, Brandon Trent was asking, did you guys see Natalie Portman is open to returning to Star Wars in a new interview?
Yeah, I saw that.
She could return as either Padme in a flashback or her handmaiden Sabe, who is her body double in Vader Comics / Phantom Menace.
And it's Disney Star Wars, right? You know, no one's really gone, and a lot of these people that you have a lot of people who does fan edits. And apparently they hate that Leia dies, so they use another scene from another movie and edit that in to make it seems like she survived and have one of the kids. You don't know if it's Luke or Leia in the edits, but yeah, that's what they do. You know, Disney can always do that if they suddenly want to. Like, oh, she did actually survive. Look at this. Wow.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah. Suddenly, no, she's a clone though.
But so the other political party which Leia was a part of was the Populists. So the Populists and the Centrists, and the Populists basically wanted to maintain that the Republic be decentralized.
Lovely. I got no words for it. I'm just kind of at that whiz end with so much of the Disney Star Wars. Like, guys, really?
There's elements of Disney Star Wars that I do like, but it's just the whole everything behind it and the stories and everything. Just I don't like those.
No,
but I like things like I like the Resurgent Star Destroyers. Those are really cool looking. I do like the updated look. The First Order Stormtroopers. It's like, well, eventually they are going to advance them. So, okay, cool.
I guess I'm just a purist. I just prefer the original Stormtrooper helmets or the Gen 3 clone.
The new helmets looks like Donald fucking Duck. Annoying as fuck. I hate the new fucking. It's fine that they can change some stuff, but don't.
Yeah, I don't mind them changing some things, but those
if you just take
those new helmets are so big and goofy looking.
And if Stormtroopers and Mandalorian. Those are
it's
great,
like if you just if you go to like just watch the sequels and you just take orange under the mask and white on the top, it looks like Donald fucking Duck.
I won't argue with you there. Okay, so we are going on 2 hours 37 minutes. I know some people have to bounce, so I think it'll be a good time to wrap things up. Guys, thank you so much. So let's first go with Jason. Plug away, good sir. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, okay. I want to say thanks for having me on, and thanks for giving me the invite. I did not expect it. You know, I was supposed to have like 3 days, 4 to 3 days off and relax. But when I saw the link, I was like, you know what? Why the fuck not? You're a great guy. Yeah, and Filter, you're a great guy, and
thank you.
We're good friends.
You too.
So thank you. It was nice to meet. What was the name of the other guy here? So just
Hitman.
Hitman. So it's nice meeting you too, man. I have messaged you on Twitter.
Yes.
I know. I want you on the channel at some point, and it'll be fun to have you on.
Love to be
on. Yeah, and again, this was fun. We went on for a long time. But other than that, you know, thank you to everybody who's in the chat and have made the chat strong. And I will say pineapple on pizza is amazing. Pepperoni and pineapple is two of the things I like the best on pizza. But as I always say, life's too short, make the most of it. And we in this panel, we love you. We appreciate you guys out there. And we would not be here today if it wasn't for all of you. We appreciate all the love and all the praise you guys are giving us, and we are going strong, and we will keep on making content for all of you guys out there. So thank you again for having me on.
Of course.
And
I wasn't sure if you were
Go ahead. we are gonna stream. Normally, it is on Thursday and Tuesdays, and we are gonna come next week. We are gonna stream again. The Beyond show that we normally do, and sometimes on the in the weekend I do not a podcast but a podcast sometimes. Normally Saturdays are the day I do it, but today is a break day. But yeah, we talk pop culture, Star Wars, of course. That's how me and Chris found each other and became best friends. Just talking about Star Wars. And you can, we have fun and just talk shit. And, we are a big bunch of bigots. And apparently,
hey, you're not supposed to give it away. You're not supposed to give it away.
I don't care, man. I'm a proud bigot.
All right, fine.
I'm Norwegian. What do you expect? And apparently, we are also homophobes. But the thing is, hey, one of our
Jace is also a bad Norwegian too.
Yeah, I'm that too. But it's so funny that if you ever get called homophobes, is that we have a shield in our company called Prismatics, who are not straight. We have our shield. We can say what the fuck we want. But other than that, thank you. Thank you again.
No problem. How about you, Chris? What do you got going?
Basically the same thing that he said, though. I do on occasion when I get around to, I do play Hogwarts Legacy on my personal YouTube channel, which is Spartacus, parentheses 540 Echo close parentheses. So you can find me over there on YouTube and also on over on Rumble as well.
Real quick, Spark, what's your Twitter handle? Because I don't know if I followed Jason, but I don't know if I have you yet. Is it Spartacus?
Well, I mean, you could possibly find me that way, but it's at xginjohn91.
Fracture, you put that in the.
I'll put it into Discord for you. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, I love to follow you. Give you shout outs to the both of you.
Thank you. Oh, and also for the people that were complaining about them changing Stormtrooper look, what is the picture that I'm sharing right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah, but at least it looks better than a fucking Donald Duck.
What's this?
Yeah.
I have some jokes, but I don't know if I'm gonna take it on this channel.
Well, I mean,
we're still small. We aren't monetized, so we might be good.
It hasn't stopped. It hasn't stopped.
It might be, he might be a little, ching chong ping pong.
That one. Okay.
It's because the eyes are small, But I still like the look a lot better here, even though they could have done the eyes bigger. Yeah. But I like that a lot better than Donald Duck masks.
I don't give a damn what you say.
I know you don't give a damn.
And Hitman, you got anything you want to say? Finish anything off with, or are you good?
No, we'll be back next Saturday. I should be hopefully in the next week or two be back with SOTOR. I'm building my rig finally after.
We can get the shenanigans going again. All right.
Yeah, I just got to make sure all the parts
are working.
Get in at the same that'll be in the near future. So
cool. Yeah, all right. Yeah. So I'll just finish this off here. Absolutely. Next week, more Saturday Night Sith. The week we're going into, I should be receiving hopefully my downloaded codes for the System Shock remake. So over on Rumble is where I will be doing exclusively the streaming for that game. Hopefully they'll give me the codes Tuesday. It looks like that's what's supposed to be happening. I'm kind of looking forward to it after finally all this freaking time. And there's the Donald Duck.
There we go.
I don't care.
And then probably if not Tuesday night, but Wednesday or Thursday, I'll be streaming that game. Keep an eye out. I still have to finish. Oh God, what was it? I have to finish still? Final Fantasy VII, but I had finished previously.
Republic Commando.
I've already finished Republic Commando. I might have to eventually start up Jedi Academy. Yes, Jedi Academy may be back on the menu, boys.
I also will.
It should be. Or I will come and hunt you.
I'm trying to do something, but it's not working.
I'll probably be playing also Jedi Survivor here soon myself.
Oh, you Disney shill.
I hate the game. I hate the Survivor game. I've seen the fucking story. They ruined Vader even more.
You and Raging Rhino. You and Raging Rhino. A couple of Disney shills playing Jedi Survivor.
I actually did like Fallen Order. I love BD1. I love.
That's
BD1.
the only reason you want the game, right?
Well, I mean, it's fun. I like I said, I did like Jedi Fallen Order, so I'm gonna give this game a shot. See what happens. I did not enjoy the book though. The book was horrible. Don't read the book. The book is pointless.
Oh no, the book between it all. No.
The book was
Sam
pointless.
Mag's book.
The book was pointless. Don't read the book. Don't waste your money.
And they also push LGBT yada stuff in it.
Yeah, they made.
Well, it's Sam Mag's writing it, so of course that's naturally what happened.
They basically cucked
Cal Kestis,
and they made Marin got it on.
They made her bisexual, right?
Yep. No, they made her kind of gender fluid or pansexual.
Pansexual. Okay.
Yeah, so she can
one of those.
Everything.
One of those.
Apparently, Night Sisters never really cared about gender or sexuality.
Hence why they were.
So if you have a toaster, she will be all in for it.
Despite them being exclusively an all-female coven, and they excluded all man. You know what? Never mind. I want to say thank you to Crimson Raptor for jumping in, as he had to go, and Bastil is waiting for him in the other room. Brandon Trent, thank you for always being here. You always pop in. I appreciate it, man. It's always awesome. I saw Sentinel. You were in here earlier. You goofy bastard. You. We were all just chatting away, especially once Wookiee got involved. It was this chaos, so I didn't quite follow the chat like I normally do. And thank you to both Chris and Jason for coming in the chat and on the show itself. Much appreciated, guys. And
love you, brother, in the most heterosexual way, man.
And with that, I'll play us out.
Way.
What is thy bidding, my master?
Yeah, I should have known from the very beginning. From what you said. Yeah, when the mega powers were formed. Yeah, what you were out for from the very beginning. Yeah, you were after what was mine. I remember what you said.
You can destroy the Emperor. Join me. Together, we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
Yeah, that one was rough. Those words right there. Yeah, I got stuck, yeah, but I swallowed it anyway. Didn't like the taste, but I swallowed it anyway, yeah. But I remember the time when there was a conquistador out of the ring. The one that's so jealous that he can't stand it, yeah. Yeah, you came in there with your poses, yeah, but you made a big idiot out of yourself, yeah. And speaking of idiot things, what about that stupid idea? Did you forget that one? Think back. That right there sealed your fate. Yeah, that put the madness over the edge. But I'll tell you what felt even better, yeah, was in the dressing room, in the first aid room. Me being unselfish, yeah, said go ahead, do the thing, yeah. You won't steal my thunder, no. When you take a look at the madness's eyes, all you're gonna see is complete and utter